Welcome one, welcome all. What the hell was that? That's what I said to myself last night. When I was sitting there watching Aaron Rodgers on Kenny Mayne on SportsCenter, I had said to myself, what the hell is this? He doesn't look good. Many of you thought he was high. He dodged and ducked question after question about his future with the Green Bay Packers. But it's what he didn't say that spoke loudest. I've said that all along. Listen to what is not said. Think about it. And there is one question. It was posed to me today, and it wasn't even something that I thought of myself. So I'm going to give Ernie Betts out in Viroqua all the credit in the world when I was on the air with him this morning. But I wrote a small piece over on the Facebook fan page, if you want to grab it. And it's going to be, it was kind of a synopsis of what got us to this point. And I didn't want to react last night. All I tweeted out was, what the hell was that? That was it. That's all I tweeted out. And then I wanted to sit. Because as I sat there and started to get into the discussion, or watch the discussion. I didn't get into it. I was watching the discussion. I had a couple of friends of mine that started to text me. I got a buddy of mine down in Cumberland, down near Tennessee border, and he had got a hold of me. He was watching it. A friend of mine out in California was watching it. I got a buddy of mine that does radio in Vegas who was watching it, and they all wanted to know. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to hold off from just busting loose here. So, because I wanted to absorb this for a minute, because my reaction was a lot like many of you. I thought, you know what? He's too cool for his own good, you know, and I just on, and it's just like, this is crap. You know, you put everybody through this, and then you give that. I mean, it's kind of what we thought it was going to be. You know, where he's going to keep saying, Kenny, this is about you. This is about your last day. I'm a friend of yours. I don't want to talk about this. And I didn't really expect much more than that. And so I sat there like many of you, and I watched that. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to wait. Immediately last night, a buddy of mine, Mike Clemens, who you've all heard on my program before, got a hold of me, and we're kind of going back and forth a little bit. And I thought, Mike, I'll even talk to you tomorrow. So I went back and listened to the interview. So I want you to listen to this, and we're going to do it again next hour. And Pete Doherty, the Green Bay Press-Gazette, is going to join us in the last hour because the Packers open up their practice to the media today in the 11 o'clock hour. There's interviews and such after the fact. So Pete's going to do everything he can to grab a phone after he's done, probably in the last hour of the show. So we're going to talk with him. But Aaron, let's do this first and foremost. Rodgers last night, we're going to listen to Rodgers. Rodgers last night, it was talked about, you know, big news in the interview, and you know, he kind of gives the kind of joke like Marshawn Lynch, like, oh, I'm just here so I won't get fined.
You can, yes. I did not show up.
A lot of people are counting on this interview, like make some big news so you could take Jeopardy, you're going to retire, you're going to demand a trade, you're going to show up on time. I mean, pick one. Give me something to work with here.
I'm just here so I won't get fined, Ken.
Great. It's funny, but the world was waiting for something, and he gives you that. That pisses you off. That really does. I mean, as a fan, that right there, that pissed a lot of people off because Twitter blew up. Now he gives the reference to the Wedding Crashers. Listen to this.
I think we might need a situation like Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn in the beginning of Wedding Crashers. there's throw a few miles around here and there. You get a couple miles, I get some miles. We kind of go from there.
If you're familiar with that scene in Wedding Crashers, that is when Vince Vaughn, he knows the marriage is over. It's not like they're going to counseling anymore. The marriage is over. It's I'm out of here. That was a specific scene from a specific movie that dealt with a divorce. We are now going to go run amok because I know it's over. So then he gets into the whole discussion of teams and organizations and the discussions where he said in his interview the word people 14 times. Take a listen.
I think sometimes people forget what really makes an organization. And, history is important. Legacy of so many people who've come before you. But the people, that's the most important thing. The people make an organization. People make a business. And sometimes that gets forgotten. Culture is built brick by brick, the foundation of it by the people. Not by the organization, not by the building, not by the corporation. It's built by the people.
Did you catch all of that? I'll come back to that because there's a discussion there as to what that means. So then the question, because I thought Kenny Mayne tried to do as best he could to fend off the goofiness that was Aaron Rodgers, and how they didn't know, how Aaron didn't. It's almost like he didn't realize he was going to be asked these questions. But he was asked specifically, are you demanding a trade? Here's his answer.
Are you demanding a trade?
With my situation, look, it's never been about, never been about the draft pick, picking Jordan. I love Jordan. He's a great kid. He a lot of fun to work together. I love the coaching staff, love my teammates, love the fan base in Green Bay. It's incredible 16 years. It's just kind of about a philosophy, and maybe forgetting that it is about the people that make the thing go. It's about character. It's about culture. It's about doing things the right way. And a lot of this was put in motion last year, and the wrench was just kind of thrown into it when I won MVP and played the way I played last year. So this is just kind of, I think, the spill out of all that. But look, man, it is about the people, and that's the most important thing. Green Bay has always been about the people.
So did you catch all of that? That was the money bite. That was the money bite. Again, what was said, and more importantly, what was not said. Loves his teammates. Loves Jordan Love. Loves the coaching staff. Loves the fan base. He said nothing about Mark Murphy and Brian Gutekunst. And he was specific to say, it's not about Jordan Love. The person loves Jordan Love. It was when he says, I threw the monkey. He said this before. I've thrown the monkey wrench. I threw the monkey wrench in the philosophy. This is what he's saying. We have had good player after good player after good player get drafted. And then after their first contract, you let them go. You start to go through the laundry list of players that have come here that have played well. They did. It's a draft and develop team, and you draft them, you develop them, you let them go. You continually create your own holes. Why? You always want to have cap room. You always want to look for the future. This is what I've been saying. Now, I know some of you took that interview last night and you said, you know what, he's aloof. He seems like he's high. He looks like he's way too thin. He's hanging out with a goofy, seemingly starlet, and she looks like she came off of some kind of Sherpa farm somewhere with that goofy dance thing that they were doing out in Hawaii. I don't even know what the hell she was wearing. Like an oversized flannel shirt and a hemp dress and Birkenstocks. It's like she's going to birth her own baby in the woods or something. Who knows? So I get all of that. But listen to what he's saying. Listen to what he's saying. He's saying,
yeah, with
look,
my situation, look, it's never been about, never been about the draft pick, picking Jordan. I love Jordan. He's a great kid. A lot of fun to work together. I love the coaching staff, love my teammates.
love the coaching staff, love the teammates. It's not about the, it's not, he said it's not about the draft pick. And then he quickly said it's not about Jordan. It's not about Jordan. It's about the timing of all of this. You want draft and develop, and when they get good, you let them go. You want to be able to see, we were a player or two or three maybe away from getting back to and winning an NFC championship game. And what you did was, instead of saying, here, this is what I've been preaching. At what point does this effing organization finally say, we're going for it? We're going to do everything we can. Kick the can down the road. Go all in. Championships and opportunities for championships don't come that often. This organization has been incredibly fortunate with both Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. And you look at a guy like Ron Wolf. Ron Wolf said it. He said, as the general manager, I didn't do enough. I didn't take advantage of the situations when they presented themselves. I didn't put enough weapons around Brett Favre. I should have changed my philosophy. So Ted comes in and drafts best available. Best available. That's what he did early on. And then after that, Ted got goofy. I'm going to be the smartest guy in the room. Like success, it breeds ego. And I'm going to be the smartest guy in the room. I'm going to get Dayton Jones, and we're going to fit that square peg into a round hole. I'm going to get Nick Perry, and we're going to fit that square peg into a round hole. You know, all these guys players that people had never heard of. You know, you're looking at these players, and you're like, what the hell are you doing? I'm going to get Justin Harrell from Tennessee. Nobody even had him in the first round or second round. I found this guy. He's going to be our nose tackle. Wrong. You know, it's just all these different guys that they thought were going to be something. And they weren't. I remember sitting there listening to him tell me about Quinn Johnson. Quinn Johnson. You're going to see this guy. I've clocked him, but on laterals, he's got this and he's got that. And he's not north-south, but and I'm thinking, what the hell are you talking about? Quinn Johnson, a fifth-round draft choice out of LSU? What the hell? And that's when it started to dawn on me, where Ted, he got BJ, and he got Balaga, but then he's got Mike Neal, and Mike Neal coming out of Purdue, he's going to, no, Mike Neal's not. No, he's not. You know, it just, you know, I'm going to be the smartest guy. I've got Jarrell Worthy out of Michigan State, but he's going to be a guy that's going to be down on the ground, and it's like, what are you doing? You're drafting Nick Perry and Jarrell Worthy, two guys that were undersized, that weren't really that good. No, what are you doing? And that's when philosophically, as a quarterback, they're saying, and we've talked about this every year, it's the team says, hey, Aaron, go win us 12 games. Go win us 12 games. And Aaron's like, give me some help. I'll win you 10 or 11 games. I don't think I can win you 12 or 13 every year. You got to give me some help. Hey, we know we need another wide receiver. We know we need some other defenders. We need this. Okay, I've got an athlete that nobody knows about. What? And then you go out and pick that guy, you know? So you fast forward to the Brian Gutekunst. Now, Gutekunst has done okay in the draft. But when you need a specific player, and there's a plethora of these guys sitting there, or Patrick Queen to roam the middle, or Justin Jefferson to trade up again, or some of these guys when all these other teams are going, we have needs, here's guys that will fill our needs. You're coming out of an NFC Championship game going, we have a couple of needs. We know we got to get another run stuffer. We know we need a linebacker. We know we need another wide receiver. This is what we need. Let's go get a quarterback who's never going to dress. And that's when he went, you know what? F you. I'm done. I'm done. You guys can't be any. You always look down the road. That's the philosophy. And oh, by the way, if you're going to do that and you're going to talk about drafting these other guys, why are you letting the quality guys go? This is what I'm talking about. When we get into this discussion, we get all geeked up for the draft and we all say, hey, this guy's great. But he's not going to be great for 3 years. Rodgers doesn't have 3 years to wait for a guy that you drafted to hopefully develop into what it is you need. Go get me guys that work. Go do this. We're right there. What are you doing? And then Mark Murphy says, what do you think, we're idiots? Yes. Yes, I do. If you are drafting with a quarterback at 25 years old and you're building a team for when he's 27 and he's 28 and he's 30, I get it. But you are not. And this organization is failing. Now, people will say, well, they've been to back-to-back NFC Championship games. Yes, but they have fallen short. Rodgers in this particular game, I 100% agree with you. He made mistakes. No doubt about it. But people say, well, he locked on Davante Adams. Completely agree. Had you gotten him maybe one of the top-notch guys that he immediately develops a rapport and a trust with, maybe he's got 2 guys to throw to, not 1. That's been my point all along. You find him what he needs. If he's going to be the chef, get him the ingredients that he needs to be the best chef he can be. Don't say, here, take this and this and this, because I know you really don't want these, but just go make something great out of them anyway. You can't keep doing that. Now, the Jordan Love pick, while he says the pick is not it, yeah, the pick is it. It's the angst and the anguish, and not even the communication aspect of this anymore. I realize, I get it now. I get it. I get it why he's pissed. You draft it. Your philosophy is draft and develop. Your philosophy is draft, develop, let go. Oh, we're not going to pay that guy. We're not going to pay this guy. I understand Aaron Rodgers has to take less money. If you want to be the highest paid all the time, you got to let guys go. So that's on Aaron. But Aaron's to the point of going, you're not getting me what I need anyway, so to hell with you. You're not getting us what we need. You're fitting square pegs into round holes and going, make chicken salad out of chicken. That's where he talks about the philosophy, where they forget about the people. You draft and develop people that you want, and then you let them go. And then you're stuck in the same circle every year. Are you going for a championship, or are you just going for sustainability? Because if you're part of sustainability, I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to just be another quarterback to play another season for another Packers team. Are we going to be a championship team? Are we going for it, or are we not? That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Now, he's aloof. He looks like he came down off of a mountain and hasn't showered for a month. He looks like he hasn't eaten anything but grass and berries. And his wife probably cuts her hair and makes pillows out of it, or his girlfriend. But the guy is not stupid. What he said last night was on point. I get it. I finally get it. And it's something that I've roundabout kind of been saying for a while. And fans, you can argue it. It makes for great barroom fodder. But that's what he's saying. I get it. More of the Bill Michaels Show right after this. Ready?
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Coming up this weekend, and really looking forward to the honor ride. It is Memorial Day weekend is so incredibly special anyway, for the remembrance of those who have given so much for us in a time in which we are coming out of a weird portion of our country's history. Remember those that have, whatever it is you do, whether it's protest, whether it's have a right to speak out, whether it's you just lay your head down comfortably on your pillow at night. This weekend is coming up to remember those who have given us that freedom and liberty. So they've got the honor ride this weekend at the Wisconsin Harley-Davidson just south of I-94 on Highway 67 in Oconomowoc, and I hope to see you out there. And if you're looking for anything in the world of Harley-Davidson, new bikes, used bikes, whatever it happens to be, or if you just want to be a part of something incredibly special, they also have a classic car show going on this weekend. Going to be a really good weekend this weekend at Wisconsin Harley-Davidson in Oconomowoc. Go to wishd.com. That is wishd.com. wishd.com. So the Aaron Rodgers discussion is this. Dennis writes, why do you and others refuse to hold Mark Murphy accountable for the mess with Rodgers? Here are my thoughts. I found the interview with Kenny Mayne very eye-opening. The best part was learning that once again that the experts were 100% wrong. They kept spewing that Rodgers was upset because of the Jordan Love pick. Rodgers clearly debunked that. Dennis, you are 100% incorrect. You are 100% wrong. And that's where the rest of your comments go south. 100% wrong. It was about the Jordan Love pick. I just went through that. It wasn't about Jordan Love himself. It's not about Jordan Love. It's about the fact that philosophically speaking, this is where he talks about philosophy. Philosophically speaking, at a time in which you are a player away or two or maybe three away from really getting to an NFC championship game and winning a Super Bowl, it's not about this past year because Aaron Rodgers played amazing. He proved them wrong. But instead, you are constantly looking down the road. You're letting quality guys, you're draft and develop. You draft them, you develop them, and you let them go. Well, are you draft and develop and keep your own guys, or are you just going to continually create this draft machine where you're just bringing in players and you're letting them go and you're just constantly recycling? because you're never going to win consistently that way unless you have Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre. Philosophically speaking, you have to go for it. You have to look what they did in Tampa Bay. You know, when you're so close, you know you need a linebacker. Patrick Queen is right there. You know you need a wide receiver. Justin Jefferson's there. You can trade around and get these guys. You know they're right there. And you drafted a quarterback who didn't even dress. He did nothing to help your team. That's your blanking philosophy? Don't give it to me, because you know as well as I do, we were all sitting there last year watching the draft. We're all sitting there. This is a team coming off of an NFC championship game. And we're all sitting there. And you saw wide receiver after wide receiver after wide receiver come off the board in a wide receiver deep draft when you knew you needed some. And then you knew you needed a middle linebacker, another defender. Your defense got its ass kicked with nobody being able to stop Mostert and stop the run against Jimmy freaking Garoppolo. You got your ass handed to you. And you drafted a quarterback who didn't dress the entire season. That's what he's talking about. Yes, it is all about the Jordan Love pick. You know why? Because they doubted Rodgers. They didn't want to look at the here and the now. They looked down the road. They are constantly looking 3 years, 4 years down the road. Brian Gutekunst said it himself in the press conference right before the draft. 2 years this. And we went through it. How many times did he say 2 and 3 years? 2 and 3 years. He never talks about the now. What is going to help your team this year? What is going to be here for this team to win this season? Tell me. Well, we signed some free agents. No, you didn't. You brought back the same old guys. You brought back good quality guys, but you still had to let Corey Linsley walk. You let an all-pro center walk. The guy that calls the blocking schemes for your offense walk. You did all of this. You started this motion last year, hoping Aaron Rodgers would either fail or you could trade him away so you could move on to Jordan Love. Your philosophy was, give us another year or two of Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to move on. Why are you looking down the road? Why? Tom Brady's winning Super Bowls at the age of 44. Peyton Manning's winning Super Bowls after the age of 40. Brett Favre's in an NFC championship game at the age of 42. Why are you looking down the road? Why? What is wrong with you? You're an organization that is supposed to be going for it every year. It's Super Bowl or bust, remember? And instead you're going, 2 years, 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. I don't want to hear about 2 years. That's why he's pissed. And he has every right to be. He has every right to be. And then for Mark Murphy to go, you think he's not going to be our quarterback? What are we, idiots? You started this. You started it. You started the clock ticking. You know you did. And everybody that has said all the Packers give a blank about is making money and just get to the postseason now look right. Aaron Rodgers has lost faith in the organization. Fans are losing faith in the organization. You know why? Because this is a blanking blank show. That's why. That's why. Nothing more. So for everybody that got pissed off at Aaron Rodgers, that California cool, aloof, greasy hair. My girlfriend wears clothes made of sheep and hemp and all the other crap that goes along with it. And I'm cleansing my body and I crap berries. Whatever. Who cares? I don't give a damn about the hat you wore at the Kentucky Derby. But philosophically, inside the walls of 1265, he has lost faith in this team. He has lost faith not in his coaching staff, not in the guys around him, not in Jordan Love. He has lost faith in the guys upstairs running this franchise. And he wants out. He wants to leave. He's like, they don't want to win. I want to win. I don't have much time left in my career. I want to win. Those clowns are worried about 3 years down the road so they can still get your money. That's what they're worried about. Those guys are. So when Mark Murphy says, you think we're idiots? Yeah, you look like idiots. You started the clock ticking. You're the one that drafted Jordan Love. You're the ones that were so close, and all you had to do was get a couple of pieces here and there and push it over the edge. You chose a guy that never freaking dressed, that never played. And quite frankly, doesn't look that damn good. Behind closed doors, from what I've heard, doesn't look like he really gets it. And you traded up to get him. You gave up a draft choice to get a guy that wasn't going to play. And here's the other thing. This is the other thing that's going to blow your mind. You drafted up to get this guy to start the clock. He may not even play this year. If he doesn't start this year when Aaron Rodgers is not in Green Bay, just come out and say, hello, I'd like to take the podium and admit to all of you Packer shareholders and every fan out there that I am a complete dumbass. You should have said that last year. More of the Bill Michaels Show right after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
And where also Quick Trip, they have the lowest legal beer prices on your favorite 24 and 30 packs all summer long. All summer long, like Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. And they're good to go. So stop into your local Quick Trip. Not only do they have some terrific hot food, cold food, you name it, but Quick Trip is right here. They are Wisconsin-based in the upper Midwest, and they take care of us. Get into the smaller stores and take care of them. Good stuff from our friends over there at Quick Trip. 877-867-1670. I'm going to open up the phone lines. 877-867-1670. I want to get your thoughts on this. I watched that last night, and I get it. I really get it. I listened to what Rodgers had to say, and it was goofy. I admit that. The reaction was really by many fans just like, to hell with you, Aaron. And it wasn't that I had thought that to myself, but I thought, boy, you're not doing yourself any favors PR-wise, because this is not a good interview. This is goofy. This is the world waiting for you to say something substantive, and for you to be goofy and aloof. And the classic, this is not the time for that. So if I am Aaron Rodgers' PR person, I am saying, hey, be heartfelt, give them more than maybe what you want, but let them know where you stand. And then be complimentary of Kenny and what he's been and what he's meant to ESPN and your friendship and whatever you want to do after that. But instead, he quips about, the movie Wedding Crashers, and he wants to be funny, and he wants to talk about all this goofy stuff, and it pissed off. You care so much about the fans, but you won't give the fans an insight. So on the surface, you won't. But when you listen to it again and again, you get it. You get why he's so mad. Especially when he talks about, really enjoying his friends, his teammates, his coaches. It's you really get it. He's not a stupid man at all. He seemed like he was high as hell. I get it, because I even thought to myself, is he okay? Was he out, last night completely partying and drinking? And has he not seen a barber since he came down off the mountain? He looks like a skater dude. You know, he's goofy. But then you get through it and you listen to the words, and then you can watch when his facial expression changes. And then you can tell where it is. Um, 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up, feel free to do so. Eight 877-867-1670. Elaine says, oh my God, I can't believe you're thinking and speaking this way. It is the truth. For goodness sakes, why cannot other people see it like this? People say he's just a worker. Do what you are told. I'm in the medical field, so I can only compare it to that. If you are told the world famous amazing surgeon, do what we say because we know what's best for you and your bosses. Oh, by the way, we are bringing in another surgeon. Never mind. You need more nurses, better updated supplies. If you get my drift, I would leave too. I have seen it happen many times in my 42 years of being a nurse. It's a very similar philosophy. You know, Anthony says, so what philosophy does Rodgers not agree with? The making the playoffs, great chance at an FC championship game every year, or the top 5 offense the last decade or so? The defense has clearly gotten better. The money not going to dignify that. Which philosophy? Anthony, did you not just hear what I said? You don't get it. He's on the inside telling you, we're so close, and you're always worried about next year rather than this year. He said time and again in the interviews with Pat McAfee, he said, look, it's not about the contracts. And from what I understand, the last time he got the contract to be the highest paid player, it wasn't about, he did not demand that. The team wanted to give him that. So he signed the contract. But, you know, people say, well, then why did you sign the contract? Well, he never, ever thought that this team was going to go in the direction of another quarterback. While let me back up. This is a guy that has said all along, I want to be a Packer for life. I want to be the quarterback. I want to be the most decorated. I want to be considered the best to ever play the game. And he wanted to be a Packer for life. He's never fought to leave until now. The philosophy is worry about tomorrow, worry about next year. You said it yourself. What does he not agree with? Making the playoffs? Getting to an NFC championship game? They've done it 4 times that they've lost. And people want to say, well, he's 1-4, but I've been through that. I've debunked all of that. Because it's crap, and you know it's crap. And yes, when you talk about being the top 5, why do you think they are? Why do you think they are the top 5 offense? Why do you think they have such a good shot at a postseason every year? You can't be this stupid. It's because of Aaron Rodgers. They say, Aaron, we're not going to give you everything you want. Go win us 12 or 13 games and get us to the postseason. And who knows what happens in the postseason? Maybe we got a shot to win it. And he talks about the people. It's about the people. We need help. You draft and develop, and you let guys go. And then you start over. It's about the good guys in this locker room, the guys that we all want to play with. And you're getting rid of these guys to bring in guys that aren't proven. And then saying, start over. Why are we always starting over when the guys are right here? That's his point. That's his point. Now, here's the question. And I'm going to ponder this, but I don't have an answer. And I can't take credit for the question because it was posed to me earlier today. Our buddy Ernie Betts in Viroqua at WVRQ up there gave this to me, and he said, so what will it take to make him happy so he'll stay. I don't know. And what was really sad last night was watching that and then listening to it again this morning. I don't think he's going to stay. John says the cap is the limit to signing people. No, it's not. David Bakhtiari has said it time and again. He was already preaching this during the season last year. You can make anything work. You can make anything work if you're going for it. He stated that in an interview this past season. You can make anything work. It made huge news here in the state when they were talking about re-signing David Bakhtiari and signing all these other players. He said, you can make anything work. Whatever you want to do, you can do. Think about that. But what is going to make this situation better? I don't know. I wish I knew. I just don't. I think the era of Aaron Rodgers football, I'll stay with my 70% he's gone because I'm a fan. Because I think that 30% of me is really hoping that he comes back. But this sounds really bad. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Stuff done in my home about a year ago, as a matter of fact, a little more than a year ago, during the pandemic and at the very beginning. And Sean and his staff did an amazing job. They're one of our terrific supporters for all of our on-site broadcasts. Call Sean if you're looking for some epoxy floor coating, whether it's for your home, garage, a basement, a gym like I had done. Maybe if you have a showroom, car dealer, or whatever other business you happen to operate, or maybe even industrial. Get a hold of Sean and the gang at Epoxy Flooring Done Right. Go to epoxyflooringdoneright.com. That's epoxyflooringdoneright.com. Or just call Sean directly from Green Bay to Madison, Milwaukee, Racine, everywhere in between. 262-443-2852. 262-443-2852. Again, 262-443-2852. And get a hold of Sean over there. Tell him we sent you. God, there's so much here. It's Anthony says he acts like the Packers or the Lions. Anthony, no, you're clearly not a Rodgers fan, and that's fine. Just say it. Just say it. You know, you disagree with Rodgers. That's fine. What I'm telling you is I understand what he's saying, and I agree with it. I've been preaching this for a while. You are happy with getting to the postseason and saying, well, there we are. He is saying it's not about getting to the postseason. It's about putting all your chips in the basket to be able to get yourself over the top. It's about saying we're a draft and develop team and keeping the guys you actually develop. It's about the people. It's about what you're doing to create a winning culture. That's what he's talking about. This is not a culture or a philosophy of winning. This is a culture and a philosophy of stay competitive, keep the money flowing. That's what this is. That's what he's calling out. So I agree. Look, hey, if you're happy with getting an opportunity to get there and maybe things and the chips fall in your direction, yeah, you're gonna end up winning every now and then. But what he's talking about is we've had the ability to maybe create a dynasty here, and instead we're under this fit square pegs into round holes, draft and develop, and then let them go. Worry about 2 and 3 years down the road. Always keep money, sitting in a coffer somewhere so we can draw on it later. We can always forward the money. At what point? I've been saying this. When do you go for it? I mean, this is a guy that has been asked since the day he took over. Go win us games. And you're not far off in that. Because you should. As a quarterback, you should. But we even sit here now and fans criticize him going, guy's only 1-4 in NFC championship games. That's why I've defended him, because it's like, are you kidding me? You're going to say that about Rodgers? When we clearly know Mostert kicked their ass against San Francisco. When we clearly know Julius Peppers told Morgan Burnett to go down. The defense got beat. McCarthy took his foot off the gas. Bostic went up to get an onside kick he never had any business going after. All of those things change, and they win that game. And then Aaron Rodgers' narrative changes. But yet you're going to blame it all on him. He willed them to an NFC championship game against Atlanta. They had no business being there. That's what he's saying is, you're asking me to go do this, and then you're not giving me the additional help. That's what he's saying. That's why he's saying, look, culturally, philosophically, this isn't working. The culture is about the people. Not some process of just churning out talent and churning out wins and hoping somewhere along the way we get a championship. That's not what this is. Look at the Patriots. They didn't stack talent around Tom Brady continuously, but what they did was, what are we weak in this year? Okay, we're going to go find somebody. We're weak at middle linebacker. We got to go find somebody. We're weak at defensive back. Oh, man. So what do? 2 years of Darrelle Revis. We need a wideout. Go get Randy Moss. We need this guy. Go get Corey Dillon. We'll go get Corey Dillon. They won a championship. That's what I'm saying. He's like, look, all these, we could be them. But we've got this management that wants to worry about knocking down silos and everybody talking and everybody reporting to the president and this and that. And Mark Murphy's job is to make money. Okay, I'm not knocking him totally for that. And Brian Gutekunst and Russ Ball, the keeper of the money, his job is to watch over the money and try to figure out contracts. But at one point, are you going to say, this year, yeah, we've got 2 up-and-coming wide receivers. We got a good wide receiver here, but we really need another weapon. We're going to go get that guy. We need a linebacker. We haven't had a good linebacker here in forever. We need a linebacker. Go get one. Oh, we don't value them? Not as highly? Well, we'll try to draft and develop one. Well, we've been drafting and developing now for 8 years. We still haven't found one. So when are you going to go get one? When are you going to get one that can stop the run? Mostert is still running on you. Is that Rodgers' fault? No. That's the part that's maddening about this. I get it. And John, you keep talking about the contract. Rodgers has been offered a big contract, a small contract, a restructured contract, all of that. He's like, it's not about that. You're not doing anything with the money. You're not doing what's necessary to give us a consistent, legitimate shot at a Super Bowl. More of the Bill Michaels Show is next.
One in the opening round of the playoffs, so the Milwaukee Bucks struggled to hit from 3. Game 2 last night, so the Milwaukee Bucks finished with 22 three-pointers, the most in a single playoff game by the club, as they would take a 2-0 lead in its best-of-7 series with Miami, following a 132-98 victory last night at the Pfizer Forum. Giannis Antetokounmpo led the way for the Bucks, scoring 31 points. Chris Middleton added.
We got to go down there like it's us against what it is when somebody goes back home and they're playing in front of their home crowd. But at that point, it's going to be us against the world. So we're going to have to wrap arms around each other and be our own energy and be our own fans at that point.
The series now shifts to Miami for Game 3 Thursday. To the majors, the Milwaukee Brewers snapped San Diego's 9-game winning streak, beating the Padres 5-3 at American Family Field. Starting pitcher Brandon Woodruff went 7 innings, giving up just 3 hits, striking out 8 to pick up his 3rd win. While offensively, both Manny Pena and Avisail Garcia would hit home runs off of Blake Snell. And in his first game back from AAA, first baseman Keston Hiura had a hit and scored a run, while new addition shortstop Willie Adames walked twice and scored twice. The same 2 teams are back at it tonight in Milwaukee.
So your current job isn't working well? Maybe you'd like to work and make a good living. Have you thought of a career in a skilled trade like plumbing, electrical, or HVAC? You can be in demand and earn more than many college graduates without all the debt. To get your career started, go to buildyourcareerwi.org or just search online for ABC of Wisconsin. Start today.
Aaron Rodgers has finally spoken, breaking his silence last night after news broke April 29th that he did not want to return to Green Bay. Rodgers largely dodged questions about his career, but did make pointed comments about what seems to be among his biggest gripes, and that would be the front office has lost sight of what makes the 3rd oldest NFL club successful. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Last night falls under the heading of what the hell was that? Welcome one, welcome all. The Bill Michaels Show on the air, hour number 2, and all of our affiliate stations now on the air with us. A first hour of, for lack of a better term, understanding. Look, you may not like it, and I'm getting a lot of people that just have, hey, look, excuse me, if you had, John, look, you're going to go on and on about his contract. He had Greg Jennings left. They had James Jones Left. They had Devontae Adams. They have him still. They had Jordy. They let Jordy go. Jordy wanted to come back, and they didn't want him back. They re-signed Bakhtiari. They have Cullen Jenkins. They had Elkin Jenkins. They had JC. I mean, you can go through the list, okay? Finley left because he had a broken neck. All right, look, it's go through the whole list, John. John, he didn't take a pay cut. Tom Brady never took a pay cut. No, he didn't. Stop. You're making crap up now. Brady just didn't take a pay raise, and he restructured the deal down the road, which he's never going to see that money. You're all about Rodgers and the contract. Rodgers stated it's not about the money. I believe that he would take a pay cut. I believe that he would take less money or kick it down the road or restructure the contract to bring guys in. But his point is it's not about that. It's about the fact that you let guys walk. And again, David Bakhtiari said it last year. You can fit anybody in under the cap you want and restructure things in any direction you want. You can do whatever it is you want to do. At what point, if I'm going to restructure, are you spending that money? Are you getting us free agents and you filling holes? Or are you going to get guys that you don't need? Or this goes back to last year. Again, you are a couple of players away. You're probably another defensive lineman away, a linebacker away, a wide receiver away from being right there. From being right there. And really hedging your bets going into this postseason. And instead, you drafted a guy who never even dressed. It's not about Jordan Love, the person. Jordan's a good guy. I mean, Aaron says he loves the guy. But it's about what you did. You doubted him. You started to kick the can down the road. And you didn't even look at the team this year. What you looked at was 2 years down the road. And that pissed him off. Philosophically, he's probably holding his hands in the air going, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? And Aaron Rodgers is looking at his career going, I have been asked to go out and win 10, 11, and 12 games. Because people will say, and I'm getting a lot of it going, oh, what are you crying about? Getting to the postseason every year and then blowing it? Really? Do you get to the postseason without Rodgers? With the teams that he's had? With at times the defense that couldn't stop anybody? Really? How many times in the last 5 years do you think they're even in the postseason without Rodgers? Because you know how hard it is to find a quarterback in the National Football League. How many times? Let me ask you this. Are they even in an NFC Championship game without Rodgers? Yeah, silence. I don't think so. Eight 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You say they drafted and developed talent better than 90% of the teams that are out there. Okay. Dayton Jones, Eddie Lacy turned out to be a good running back for a couple of years. That was it. Yeah, David Bakhtiari in that draft. Then there was J.C. Treader. Jonathan Franklin. They let Micah Hyde go. Micah Hyde was in the wrong place at the wrong time in the NFC Championship game. Josh Boyd, Nate Palmer, Charles Johnson, Kevin Dorsey, Sam Barrington. Nick Perry, Jarrell Worthy. You had Casey Hayward for a short period of time and Mike Daniels. Jerron McMillan, Terrell Manning, Andrew Datko, B.J. Coleman. Derek Sherrod, Alex Green, Devon House, D.J. Williams, Caleb Schlitterhoff, D.J. Smith, Ricky Elmore, Ryan Taylor, Lawrence Guy. Oh, yeah, big names. Demarius Randall, then there was Quentin Rollins, Ty Montgomery, Jake Ryan, Brett Hundley, Aaron Ripkowski, Christian Ringo, Kennard Backman, Kyler Fackrell, Blake Martinez. Blake Martinez was pretty solid. Dean Lowry got overpaid. Trevor Davis, Kyle Murphy. Do I need to keep going? Quinn Johnson, Jamon Meredith, Jarius Wynn, Brandon Underwood, Brad Jones. Brad Jones looked like Tarzan, played like Jane. Brian Brom, Pat Lee. You had your Michael Finley and Jordy Nelson out of that draft. Jeremy Johnson. You got Josh Sitton. Bruno Giacomini, Matt Flynn, Brett Swain. Justin Harrell, Brandon Jackson. You picked up James Jones in that draft. Aaron Rouse, Alan Barber, David Clowney, Corey Hall, Desmond Bishop. Really? They drafted better than 90% of the teams out there, developed better than 90% of the teams out there. I think you need to go back and refresh yourself in the drafts. They got some quality players and then said, Aaron Rodgers, go win games. They got quality players and said, Brett Favre, go win games. I just went through it, Chad. I just went through the draft. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. I can go through the draft picks that are good. I can go through the Jair Alexanders. Then after that, Josh Jackson's, Orange Burks, Jamon Moore, Cole Madison, who never even really amounted, J.K. Scott, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Equinemius St. Brown, James Looney, Hunter Bradley, Kendall Donnerson. You had Kevin King and then Josh Jones, Montravius Adams, Vince Beagle, Jamal Williams, D'Angelo Yancey. Aaron Jones was solid. Kofi Amikia, Devontae Mays, Malachi Dupree. You had Kenny Clark, then Jason Spriggs, Kyler Fackrell, Blake Martinez, Dean Lowry, Trevor Davis, Kyle Murphy. I mean, I can go through all the draft choices you want. You go back to even 2014, 2015, those guys, other than Devontae Adams, aren't even here. Think about this. Your 2015 NFL draft, Demarius Randall, Quentin Rollins, Ty Montgomery, Jake Ryan, Brett Hundley, Aaron Ripkowski, Christian Ringo, and Kennard Backman. Nobody's here. And now that Corey Linsley left, you only have one guy from 2014. One. Devontae Adams. And he's probably going to leave. The only guy you have left over from 2013 is Bakhtiari. I mean, that's it. 877-867-1670. Rodgers said last night, philosophically speaking, that the philosophy and the culture has changed.
It's just kind of about a philosophy, and maybe forgetting that it is about the people that make the thing go. It's about character. It's about culture. It's about doing things the right way. And a lot of this was put in motion last year, and the wrench was just kind of thrown into it when I won MVP and played the way I played last year. So this is just kind of, I think, the spill out of all that. But look, man, it is about the people, and that's the most important thing. Green Bay has always been about the people.
So there you go. It's about the people. It's about the guys that have developed and you let them go. It's about the guys that have been drafted that really turned into something and you said no. Or guys that they trusted that were good for that locker room, that they felt were good for a nucleus for a winning team, and they let go. And Rodgers is looking at the end of his career thinking, I'm toiling away on a team that just wants me to get them to the postseason and hope that things are good enough. I don't know if the Packers can do anything to bring Rodgers back at this point. It's not about, it really isn't. It's not about the money. They can give him the biggest contract in NFL history and keep him as the highest paid player ever to play the game each and every year with $1 over any contract that comes due. But I don't think it's about that anymore. This is about you. Not only did you doubt me, but you started looking. We're right there on the cusp of getting to a Super Bowl, and you pick a guy that doesn't even play, doesn't even suit up. What the hell are you doing? And he's right. I said it. I've been adamant about it. For those that are really big-time Jordan Love fans, I hope that he turns out to be all that in a bag of chips. But the likelihood of finding a third Hall of Famer or well above average quarterback in succession of two prior is historically never been done. Never been done. Aaron Rodgers was very specific in who he praised. He praised his teammates. He talked about how much he liked Jordan Love, praised the coaching staff, the fans. And two big mentions that were left out were the general manager and the president. You know, the argument from Aaron Rodgers is, while it may not appease many of you, it's understandable. I get it. I'm not to say it's 100% right, because, you know, I mean, he obviously has a hand in this. Obviously, not throwing the pick, running for a first down, or running, either into the end zone or down near the goal line. I mean, you can talk about certain areas and certain flaws, because all players have issues, but nah, he's to the point where he's like, it's not about that. You've changed the philosophy. This was a winning organization. This was an organization that was all about acquiring championships and being that team. And now you're all about the future. You're about saving money. You're about making money. And again, I don't fault that necessarily, because you have to make money. You're the smallest professional sports franchise in all of major professional sports. You have to make money. But this is about a front office that he feels has lost touch with winning and has lost touch with the team. And I can't say at this point in time, and only because when I go back to my emotions and my thought during the draft, when they picked Jordan Love, and again, I said this before, Aaron Rodgers, when he was drafted, he fell into Ted Thompson's lap. And Ted chose him. Ted chose him for a reason, because Brett had said time and again he thought about retiring. And Aaron was supposed to be the number 1 overall pick over Alex Smith. It was either him or Alex Smith. They were supposed to go 1 or 2. So Ted had a potential first overall pick fall into his lap. You can't blame Ted for that. Okay. And this was also a team that was coming off of a lot of, instability. I mean, Mike Sherman was on his way out. Brett had clearly become the dominant factor, almost beyond a diva, with Mike Sherman. Mike Sherman had lost somewhat control of the team. And Brett had said time and again, I don't know if I want to come back. I might just go ride my tractor. Remember the whole tractor watch thing? I might go ride my tractor and just go cut my grass. He was happier doing that. I mean, that had been going on for 3 to 5 years. This was, man, we were so close. We're only a couple of guys away. I think we can do this. And Mark Murphy, Brian Gutekunst, more so than anyone, made this effort to say, nah, we're going to go in a different direction. You can play out your deal, but we're going to go in a different, we're going to give up on, in essence, we're going to give up on this particular season upcoming, and we're going to look for 2 years down the road. Just mentor this guy and go ahead and be graceful and leave. When this is a guy that has said all along, I want to be here. I want to be the most decorated. I want to be the most successful. And I want to be the greatest quarterback in Packers franchise history. And I want to stay in Green Bay. Remember, he has never said, up until now, I want to leave. Never. He has always said, I want to remain a Green Bay Packer for my entire career. He didn't think it was that easy to do, but he knew that it was, as long as he played well, it was possible. He never saw the reason to go out and get Jordan Love or get Jordan Love later. Nobody thought he was a first-round pick anyway, but you traded up to get this guy. So I get it. 877-867-1670. So for all of you just joining us in this second hour of the program, that was kind of a synopsis of hour number 1, and you understand it. You understand it. You understand the angst. You understand why he has lost faith in Brian Gutekunst and Mark Murphy. And he didn't mention either one of those two guys in his what he cares about speech to Kenny Mayne. It was goofy. It was aloof. He looked like he came down off of a mountain. The goofy, the goofy but yet fun video of him dancing with his fiance and playing guitar, and I get all of that. But he has always shown up for these OTAs. He's not here. And for those that never wanted to believe that Aaron Rodgers wanted out, believe he wants out. He's lost faith in the organization. 877-867-1670. Hit us up. More of the Bill Michaels Show is next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. The Bill Michaels Show is on the air. And now I think you have to seriously start thinking about life after Aaron Rodgers. I hope I'm wrong. But, man, after last night, it did not look good. This is from Art, who says, Aaron Rodgers has still not said that he has a beef with the organization. Why are people jumping to conclusions? Art, you would have to have your head so far buried in the sand not to see what's going on. You're living in a green and gold world, man. I mean, like buried in it. Michael says, never once has the Packers organization said they don't want Rodgers to be their quarterback for the rest of his career. They made a mistake going for Love, but it's not that black and white. They have to look at the future and the present. No, they did. That's the reason they structured his deal to be out of it in 2 years. That's the reason they drafted Jordan Love. I mean, there was clearly an out date. The plan is to have Rodgers tutor Jordan Love for a couple of years, and then they have the ability to cut him loose. Michael, actions speak louder than words. In the NFL, you can see it. I mean, we all saw it. It's obvious. Tim says, unfortunately, there has to be some effect after Rodgers is gone. What happens to the general manager? You tell me. You tell me. Michael says, I heard that the Manning brothers were at a game with Jordan Love was playing. Peyton said it was blown away and said Love was going to be great. Remember the Packers picked 25 or later in that draft. Okay. They also said, Ryan Leaf was going to be great. Quarterback, you don't. It's all speculation. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you want to believe what you want to believe. That's fine. But I'm just telling you, I get it. If you want to disagree, that's fine. I get it. I get what Aaron Rodgers is saying. I get it. Let's go to Dave, listening to us in Monona. Dave, how you doing today, man? What's going on?
Hey, buddy. Aaron, it's like, it's all about the people. It's about Green Bay. It's about my teammates. No, Aaron, it's not. You're shoving up all the fans and all your teammates who supported you the last 10 years. Stop deflecting and blaming it on management. Guess what? You know it, Bill, and I know it. He ran that town. Mike McCarthy was there. Everything he said went. If he changed the plays, he changed the culture. He ran the show. Guess what? A new sheriff came into town and said, we're in charge now. By the way, correct me if I'm wrong. It might be the first time we've ever been wrong. But didn't he have a bad year, 17, 18, and 19? Not that very strong years. So they were forced to make those changes. My bottom line is, Aaron, don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out of town. If we can get if we get some players, on defensive players that are good, all Jordan's got to do is dump and go. He's got all pro running backs, offensive line, receivers. He gets some defensive help, Bill.
That's it. Look, tell me, there's not many Super Bowl winning teams that have had dump and go quarterbacks.
Tom Brady, pretty much. He just stands back there and dumping you. Pretty much dumps it off.
He was one of the best downfield passers. Go back to the year that they went 16-0. He was one of the best downfield passers there was.
I'm talking about the last couple of years. When you've got weapons like Aaron,
but he's a brilliant quarterback. I mean, you're talking about an experience. You're not going to get that with Jordan Love.
If you can change your game to his skills. If you got a defense, okay, let's say they trade them for Denver, for example, and they get Bradley Chubb and a couple of defensive players. Now you can change how you're going to handle Jordan Love. You got the best offensive line, best receiver, running back.
Well,
you can't tell me they can't change the game.
I think anything's possible, but to say it's that easy is not that easy. You're talking about an incredibly intelligent quarterback. I mean, there's a whole level of smart here. If Jordan Love's nowhere near that, then Jordan Love is going to have to live on physical characteristics alone, and they're going to have to do a lot of misdirection to keep him clean because Rodgers just felt pressure. He knew when to get rid of the ball. He knew all those things. It's not going to be that easy.
Well, we're going to find out what kind of coach Matt is. I mean, if they get defensive players back in return, then guess what? I think we're going to be better off. Come on, you and I both know Aaron Rodgers. He was God for those 10 years under Mike McCarthy, and now there's a new sheriff in town. They said, bye-bye. By the way, one last thing, Bill. Come on, Aaron. Don't be telling us about you like the fans and it's about the people of Green Bay. Who the hell are you kidding? You're in Hawaii, and by the way, Packer management holds the final key. They hold all the cards.
Do you
Where's
think that
get
Packers management is right for what they've done?
Absolutely. They run the corporation. They've got to think about their stockholders in the future. When they drafted him, 17, 18, 19, he wasn't that good. He had some pretty down years. What do you want a corporation to do?
In 2016, he threw a 104.6 quarterback rating up, then a 97.2 the year after that. The year after that, he got hurt. 2017, he got hurt. He played all 16 games in 18 with a 97.6 quarterback rating. 2019, with a new head coach, he ended up throwing a 95.4 out there, and then the next year he throws a 121.5. I mean,
but he struggled. He struggled those 3 years.
He struggled according to Aaron Rodgers' numbers, but according to others, he was 10th in the league. He was 7th in the league. It wasn't like he went down to the 20th ranked quarterback in the league. He was still top 10.
Those are cherry pick statistics. Those are cherry pick statistics. I guess the competition.
But that's what you said. You're giving me. You said he had down years. I'm telling you, he didn't.
He did have down years.
Well, according to Aaron Rodgers' numbers, he wasn't throwing up 104.2 every year. He was throwing up 97 to 98.
Nothing. That's like a baseball player batting 300, but when runner's on third base, he's over 19. Aaron Rodgers was not that good those 3 years. Come on.
Okay.
Anyway, well, so yeah,
we'll disagree, but okay.
On the way out of town, Aaron.
All right. Talk to you soon, Dave. Appreciate it, man. His completion percentage in 2019 went down, and he looked off. And we looked at it as Aaron Rodgers is missing easy throws. In some cases, when you have it talk to you and explain to you, it's where it was just learning a new offense. It was timing of certain offenses. It was players that he coveted, that he wanted to get new receivers in there, guys that would actually run the routes the way they were supposed to be run. That's where his level of frustration came. I even said I thought he looked a little bit off in 2019, but I never for the life of me ever would have traded up to get Jordan Love, because we knew you were a defense away. For those that say don't let the door hit you on the ass, okay. I want to know where you're at in 2 years. If he doesn't come back and it's Jordan Love and Blake Bortles, I want to know where you're at in 2 years. Because you're going to be singing a completely different tune. Unless Jordan Love is the real deal, you're going to come back and go, you know what? I hope you're man enough to admit that you were wrong. For those that lived through the 70s and the 80s, you know what I'm talking about. With all the hope, all the prospects, Lynn Dickey was a hell of a quarterback. They couldn't get a defense around him. He wasn't that Hall of Fame level quarterback. He was a terrific downfield thrower, guy that just had them score some points, but their defense was bad. When you don't have a great defense and you don't have a great offense and you have a great quarterback, a quarterback can cover up a lot of problems. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Let's go to Mike. Mike, how you doing, buddy? What's going on?
Hey, good, Bill. How you doing?
Doing well. What's on your mind?
I want to say hi to Dave from Monona. It's been a long time. I agree with everything Dave from Monona just got done saying, and I know you're arguing with him, Bill, but Aaron Rodgers the last 11 years has gotten us not to a Super Bowl. Oh, he's gotten his stats, and believe me, he gives a crap about his stats. That's all he cares about. Why does he throw the ball away so often instead of throwing it to open guys? Why didn't he run the ball in the NFC Championship? How do you know that Love isn't going to do something? I mean, and I disagree with Dave that it'd be a dump. Love's got a professional arm, and Love can run. But not only just that. Yes, I agree with you, Bill. Not a good choice. I wouldn't have picked him, moved up to get him. No. But in the last 11 years, how many Super Bowls has Aaron Rodgers been to? And how many other quarterbacks besides Tom Brady can you mention that have won Super Bowls? There's all kinds of them. Aaron Rodgers hasn't done it. And you want to know something? Go back and watch the Super Bowl he did win. He should have never been the MVP. I forget the safety's name that had the touchdown
Nick
return
Collins.
for a touchdown. And Nick Collins also I argued with my uncle. The Packers needed a touchdown when they went for the field goal to make it a 5-point game with one possession left for Pittsburgh. Collins made a game-saving tackle that would have went for a touchdown, and Aaron Rodgers would be 0-0 with Super Bowls. I'll let you go with that, Bill. I just had to say hi to Dave from Monona.
All right, appreciate it. So it's Aaron Rodgers that's the problem. Again, I can't argue with the mentality. I've already broken it down. You look at quarterbacks, terrific. Tom Brady doesn't win a Super Bowl against Seattle if it's not for the pick. They're going to lose that game. If Marshawn Lynch runs the football in instead, they make the pick. It's a defense that winning the ball game. Do you think Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl this year without the defense behind him? No. You can throw Tom Brady out there, but Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Peyton Manning, Russell Wilson, Eli Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Nick Foles. Joe Flacco, Eli Manning, and Nick Foles are the only ones in the list of those Super Bowl winning quarterbacks that is not going to be a Hall of Famer. Think about that. You go back to Super Bowl 38, Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Eli Manning, Joe Flacco, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Nick Foles, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. Nick Foles, Joe Flacco, Eli Manning. I've just went through 10, 11, 12 Super Bowls. And it takes a Hall of Famer to get you there and win you one. Super Bowl 27, Troy Aikman, Steve Young, Troy Aikman, Brett Favre, John Elway, Kurt Warner, Trent Dilfer, Tom Brady, Brad Johnson, Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Eli Manning, Joe Flacco, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Nick Foles, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. I went all the way back to Super Bowl 27. And you think you're going to get there with Jordan Love. 877-867-1670. Again, 877-867-1670. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
How we looking? Bill Michaels here for the Four Seasons Island Resort in Pembine, Wisconsin. And I've got to tell you, when I want to get away for a long weekend, I head to the Four Seasons Island Resort. It's Northeast Wisconsin's best-kept secret, and the amenities include a 9-hole golf course, indoor saltwater swimming pool, sauna, whirlpool, tennis courts, basketball, horseshoe pits, volleyball, and when you're hungry, choose from the Boundary Water Sports Bar and Grill, Lily's Ice Cream Parlor, or fine dining in the Diamond Room. How about all of that? All Marinette County ATV and UTV trails are wide open this year. Guided waterfall tours as well. It's tucked into the North Woods of Wisconsin. The Four Seasons Island Resort is located on the Muscano Island and surrounded by the beautiful Menominee River, which divides Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan. An island you can actually drive to. How about that? It's simply gorgeous there. Whether it's a romantic weekend for two, a golf weekend with the boys, or an adventure weekend for the entire family, Four Seasons Island Resort is a place to go. Book your getaway today at thefourseasonswi.com. That's thefourseasons, FOURWI.com, and make sure you tell them Bill Michaels sent you.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, the Bill Michaels Show on the air. Hey, IndyCar racing coming to Road America. We want to put you there. We want to bring you with us. The NTT IndyCar Series Rev Group Grand Prix presented by AMR. It takes you to the legendary Road America track. It's going to be June 17th through the 20th. And we're going to be there. We're going to be broadcasting live there on the Friday before the race. And we want to bring you with us. This is really cool for all of our affiliates. And one winner from every affiliate is going to come with us with 5 of their friends. It's for you and 6 people. And that's 10 affiliates. It's 60 people. It's Madison, La Crosse, Eau Claire, Viroqua, Wausau, Marshfield, Rice Lake, Menominee, Marinette, Shawano, Clintonville, Platteville, So, I mean, there's so many of our affiliates, and we're going to bring a winner from each one of them. We're going to put you all together at tailgate, at campsites. We're all going to tailgate together the day of the race. Our friends at Quick Trip are supplying a lot of the food, a lot of the snacks, the goodies, the hot dogs, brats, buns, snacks, and such along the way. Our friends from Bud Light are going to supply a lot of the beverages. And then our friend Paul Robert from Robert Specialty Meats, we're going to try the ribs on a stick. If you've never tried it, oh my goodness, we're going to have those. And our friends at Kunis RV, go to Kunis, Kunes, KunisRV.com. And that's who's supplying the new big unit cruiser for us for the season. And in addition to that, if you don't have anything to camp in, they rent them. And they're all over the state. So if you're coming from Wausau, if you're coming from Sheboygan, if you're coming from Madison, anywhere in between, if you're coming from Lamira, whatever it happens to be, that's okay. Because come on down and go to Kunis, KunesRV.com, and you can rent one of these bad boys as well. So whether it's a pop-up or a tow behind or a fifth wheel, whatever, they rent those things. So check out our friends at Kunis RV. And also, when we get around the track, speaking of track, we're going to do it via our friends from Road, Track, and Trail. And we are going to be heading all over the place in one of their side-by-sides and showing those off. So a lot of good stuff coming up. So we want you to come with us. Again, it's the NTT IndyCar Series Rev Group Grand Prix presented by AMR. It's at Road America. Get complete details and your chance to win. Simply go to thebillmichaels.com, thebillmichaels.com. And you can get entered. It's tickets, camping, tailgating, all with yours truly. And I'm looking forward to this because it's a chance for all of us to, it's going to be really cool because we can all just sit down by the campfire, tailgate a little bit, and all bitch, scream, yell, and moan about what's going on up in Green Bay or anything else for that matter. So I'm really looking forward to it. That's what it's all about. That's what Sports Talk Radio is all about. And I want to do it with you guys and girls. So head up with us to Road America. We're going to have a good time. Go to thebillmichaels.com and get registered now. Let's say Brentley says, you've got to stop acting like Jordan Love is trash. No one has seen him play. Yes, you've said people have seen him in practice and they may not get it, but what rookie comes in with and lights it up. Some people don't look all amazing in practice, but once the lights come on, they turn it on. Brett Favre wasn't super accurate, making practice look awesome like Rodgers did, but he was one of the best gamers out there. Look, I'm not saying Jordan Love is trash. I'm not saying that, but people act like he's not. You can't act like Jordan Love. Tell me this, Brentley? Tell me what franchise has had 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks back to back to back. Tell me what franchise has had 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Tell me what franchise has not only 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks or 3 good quarterbacks back to back to back. I can give you the answer if you want. The answer is, say it with me, 0. 0. Montana Young, after that, Reno left, that it was a search. Elway left, after that it was a search until they got Manning. The Patriots, Bledsoe led them. Jim Plunkett was good. Tom Brady then came in and took it over, and he's been great. You had Terry Bradshaw and Ben Roethlisberger and a bunch of guys in between. The Cowboys, Troy Aikman goes. Yeah, Tony Romo played pretty well. Couldn't win in the postseason. Dak Prescott hasn't won anything. They've had good quarterbacks, but nobody's gotten them there. Go through that list. I gave it to you. Go through that list. Troy Aikman, Steve Young, Brett Favre. Favre then had Rodgers. John Elway. John Elway then had, after they went searching for a while, they finally had Peyton Manning. But multiple winners, the multiple winners for franchises, Eli Manning and the New York Giants, Ben Roethlisberger, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Drew Brees won it once, Joe Flacco won it once, and Joe Flacco's not an MVP or not a Hall of Famer. Russell Wilson, he's most likely going to be in the Hall of Fame, but he's only won it once. He got there twice. Patrick Mahomes, he's been there twice. He's won it once. Tom Brady's won it numerous times. But go through that list. That's what I'm saying. What you have now in your stable is a level of greatness. It takes that to get there. The 49ers were unbelievably special with Montana and Young. After that, nothing. It took them a while to get back there. And then they did it with Colin Kaepernick and a really, really, really good defense. And then they ran into a better defense that smashed them in the mouth. Because Kaepernick wasn't a special thrower. He was a special runner. It was an offense built for him and a defense that was smash mouth that ran into a defense that was better smash mouth and a better quarterback in Joe Flacco. That's my point. My point is I don't know if Jordan Love is trash or not, but I do know what you have in the stable right now. And you're already ready to push it out the door, which is why Aaron Rodgers says I threw a wrench in the process. That's the point. Uh, 877-867-1670. Look, the reason Aaron Rodgers not reporting to camp is a big deal is because Rodgers is usually there for all of this, for these OTAs. So even though Devontae Adams isn't there, it's usually no big deal because some of these other guys usually don't show up. Not everybody's there, but Rodgers is usually there. That's the reason it's a big deal that he's not there right now. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Give us a shout. Mark says, I think Rodgers is right. Thank God somebody's expressing it. If you listen to what he's saying, he's basically saying that the front office has let them down. Scott B. Golf says, thank you. I feel the same way. Matt says, I get where Aaron is coming from, but it seems a little silly when he's asking for respect. But when he was having his squabble with Mike McCarthy, he gave Mike a giant FU by having the highest throwaway percentage of his career. That wasn't respect. At the end of the day, I want the team to be the winner. I'm not sure if I like Aaron or not. That's from Matthew. Some of the look, Aaron Rodgers, and I'll say this again. I know some people want to believe that. Aaron Rodgers wasn't out to sabotage a season so he could get rid of Mike McCarthy. What he didn't believe in anymore was Mike McCarthy's offense and the fact that other players from the defensive units are calling out the offense because they see the formation because it's become obvious and other things going on with the Mike McCarthy play calling. Look, do I agree with what Aaron did? No. Not necessarily, no. It's pretty hard to start asking younger guys to choose between you or the head coach. And then say, well, I don't trust you if you don't side with me. I think that's wrong. But I also think that some of the Mike McCarthy aspect of things had worn off. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. This is from Steve, who says, David says, you keep talking about a franchise has provided 3 quarterbacks. So what? Nobody's ever won a PGA golf tournament over 50 years old either. That logic is ridiculous. No, it's not. David, no, it's not. You're wrong. You're completely wrong. And I have not kissed Aaron Rodgers' ass. That's the reason I don't talk to him much anymore. Because he held it against me because I criticized him. So you're absolutely wrong. I'm not throwing love under the bus. What I'm saying is that you act like it's going to be so easy, like Aaron Rodgers, don't let the door hit you on the ass. And then what? You know, and to say just because it never happened doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I hope it does. I hope it does. And to talk about Tom Brady being a dump and go quarterback, Brady, Manning, and Rodgers are three of the smartest quarterbacks to ever play the game. Yes, you take what the defense gives you, but you have to have an ability to be able to look off coverages, to understand where to go, to understand how to get rid of the football fast, because here comes the pressure. Great quarterbacks are not physical. Great quarterbacks are mental. The physical gets every quarterback into the league. It's the mental. It's the greatness of mentality, of recognizing defenses, of recognizing what's about to happen before it happens. It's almost like being a savant. To find that three quarterbacks in a row, there's a reason it's never happened. And you act like it's no big deal. You act like it's you'll just put in Jordan Love. Okay. And then when it doesn't happen, you're going to point the finger at management. You're going to point LaFleur. LaFleur's offense doesn't work. He was carried by Rodgers and the defense. I mean, how many times have we wanted to every year get rid of the defensive coordinator? Defense sucks. We need a new philosophy. So they bring in a new guy, completely new philosophy. It sucks. That guy sucks. This guy sucks. Everything sucks. Why? Because you're not winning championships. And this is what Rodgers is saying. You're not doing everything you can to win a championship. The front office has said over and over again, when you talk about Jordan Love, they're not even sure that he's going to be your starter. If you're not sure he's your starter, then why did you draft him in the first round? Eight 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Let's do this. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back more of the Bill Michaels Show next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. By the way, I wanted to mention to Dave and the other caller who said Rodgers didn't have good numbers in 2018. Remember, very first game, he fractured his leg and tore his MCL. Remember that? He left at halftime, came back, walked out of the tunnel, threw 3 touchdowns after that, and they won the ball game, and then played the rest of the season like that. Remember that? Bet you don't. Or if you do, you don't care. Stay tuned. We got a lot more to talk about. Big win last night for the Milwaukee Bucks. We're going to still talk about Aaron Rodgers because it seems to be the topic du jour. Bucks get a dominating win last night. Good to see them bounce back. And the Brewers finally got Woody some run support. They get a win. They got a 3-game win streak and snapped the 9-game win streak of the Padres. How about that? Stay tuned. A lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Milwaukee Bucks have taken a 2-0 lead in its best-of-7 series with Miami following a 132-98 victory at the Pfizer Forum last night. The Bucks hit a franchise record 15 three-pointers in the first half and led by 27 at the break. Milwaukee would finish with 22 three-pointers, the most in a single playoff game by the club. The series now shifts to Miami on Thursday, but Drew Holiday says they got to bring that same energy.
We got to go down there like it's us against the world. We know how it is when somebody goes back home and they're playing in front of their home crowd. We're going to have to wrap arms around each other and be our own energy and be our own fans.
To the Packers, Aaron Rodgers has finally spoken. He appeared on Kenny Mayne's final show on ESPN, and Rodgers dodged questions about his career, but did say he has a gripe with the front office.
Never been about the draft pick. Picking Jordan. I love Jordan. He's a great kid. A lot of fun to work together. I love the coaching staff. Love my teammates. Love the fan base in Green Bay. Incredible 16 years. It's just kind of about a philosophy, and maybe forgetting that it is about the people that make the thing go. It's about character. It's about culture. It's about doing things the right way.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
When you see water in your basement, it usually spells trouble. Some other insurance companies might leave you high and dry and not in the way you want. That's why Rural Mutual offers a limited water endorsement on their homeowner's policy to help cover flood, sewer backup, and sump pump coverage.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Last night saw Brewers starting pitcher Brandon Woodruff dominate, going 7 innings, giving up just 3 hits and striking out 8 to pick up his 3rd win, as the Crew would beat the Padres 5-3 at American Family Field. The Brewers now sit at 24-23 on the season, and the same 2 teams will meet tonight with the first pitch at 6:40. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Welcome one, welcome all. The Bill Michaels Show on the air, and we are glad you are here today on a day in which there is so much consternation regarding what Aaron Rodgers said and didn't say. Where he said he appreciated the fans and his guys around him and loved the coaching staff, loved the players, loved the fans, did not talk at all about the front office, talked about the change in culture and philosophy, and I get it. I get it. It takes a little while to understand it. And there are some that don't want to understand it. You don't want to look at it that way. You want to say he's petulant, he's a baby. And look, I'm not disagreeing with you on certain aspects of this. It's not as black and white as you think. But I have been saying this for a while now, that this team does not do everything it can to go all in. There are certain times when you have that opportunity to grab a player or to go in a particular direction, and this team has, for a decade now plus, they have gone in a different direction, or they have taken the path of least resistance. I mean, all of you were upset over TJ Watt. I get it. Do you remember that? They chose to go in a different direction. They're trading back, and Ted's going to be the smartest guy in the room. You know, it's when they've had that opportunity staring them right in the face, they've ignored it and they've gone in a different direction. Or when they live by the draft and develop mantra, and you develop guys, then they become really good, you get rid of them. So it can be rather mind-numbing at times. This is from Mike, who says, spot on. I think Murphy screwed the whole thing up. He was there for the whole Favre mess and also witnessed how the Colts did things right. When Peyton left, he never learned and messed with the power structure. This is his mess, and the board needs to recognize that. Thanks for the insight, Mike and Tosa. This one's from Richard. Says, sorry if you've touched on this, but I was shocked when the whole Jake Kumaro thing came up. Do you think Rodgers' drama was just starting up around that time, or do you think it was a subtle message by the front office to say that we're in charge, not you? That's our buddy Tony listening to us in Eau Claire. I don't think it was a subtle mess. I mean, it's Jake Kumaro, but I think that at the time, Aaron I've said it all along. His comments were he wanted a partnership when he signed the contract the last time. He's not meaning I want a partnership in the team. What he means is, hey, come down here and pick our brains. Come down here and see what's going on inside this locker room. Ted was a guy that believed, I'm not going to get near you. You know, and some GMs kind of live by that. But we all know the best companies, the most well-run companies, are where management comes down and says, what's going on down here? What's working? Tell me something good. Tell me that this is good. Tell me that that's good. Don't just complain all the time. Tell me what's working. Let's accentuate that. Okay, now tell me what you need to be better. You know? 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Give us a shout. Those are the phone numbers. 877-867-1670. Want to hear from you. This is from Anthony. Anthony says, I think Aaron Rodgers is goofy and aloof, but I understand what he's saying. He believes that it was all about winning, and now it's not about winning. It's about making money, and I think this franchise has lost its way. Appreciate the email. It's kind of on that path. I don't think it's solely that path. I mean, again, Mark Murphy and Brian Gutekunst would love nothing more than to win a championship. Okay, make no mistake about it. But it's how much are you going to go in to make that happen? This is from Jacob, who says, didn't David Bakhtiari say that you can make anything work? I talked about that in the last hour. Yes, he did say that. Brentley says, I agree with you, Bill. I don't want Rodgers out. I just hope that Love is good. My hope is that Rodgers comes back and sticks it to management by hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. By the way, I love the show. And it does feel like we're all at a bar drinking and talking sports, right? Drinking, talking, and arguing at times. I get it. Jim says, I wish I would have gotten rid of Ted, kept Andrew Brandt. Brandt believed in relationships with players, totally opposite of the current front office. Kathy says, what can we do to put pressure on the board of directors to make changes? This team is now out of control. They've gone through this not once, but twice. How embarrassing for one of the most storied franchises in all of football. It is embarrassing. It is. It is. To get to this point, it is. I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers is 100% absolved of any blame in this. But I understand where his anxiety is coming from. I understand where the angst is coming from. 877-867-1670. Let's go to Ryan. Ryan, welcome to the program, The Bill Michaels Show. What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. What you thinking?
That Dave and guy you had on, the last two guys they must not be true blue, green and gold guys, because Rodgers, how many times has he took us to the playoffs? I mean that's a part of the thing too that you got to look at.
Right. Well, that's the question I asked was, okay, you believe that just getting to the postseason every year is great for some, but how many times do you actually get there if you don't have Aaron Rodgers on your team?
Exactly. Amen, buddy. That's a big point there. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I hope Love does good too, but I don't know. Running quarterbacks usually don't make it long in the NFL. I don't know. I mean, running quarterbacks usually get hurt, or I just hope he's a smart guy and doesn't throw the ball.
It's
lots of picks or whatever. I just hope. I don't think we're gonna make the playoffs with them this year.
Boy, I tell you what, I appreciate the phone call, man. Thanks for giving us a buzz. I think this team has all the makings of a playoff team, no matter who's under center. But this is not a Super Bowl team with anybody else under center other than Aaron Rodgers. Can we all agree on that? And the shame of it is that you got guys like Bakhtiari restructuring his deal. You've got a guy like Zadarius Smith restructuring his deal. Preston Smith signing here for another year because he wanted to come back for a shot at winning a championship. You got guys like, Aaron Jones, the same. And it's not that Aaron Rodgers is turning his back on him. I mean, in essence, he kind of is. But what he is stating is guys, we can do everything we want. We can restructure all we want, but they're not going to go out and actually go after guys. They started this clock ticking last year. They wanted me out. They wanted to get rid of me after next season. They wanted me to tutor this young guy. They wanted to accelerate the clock. We said that the day of the draft. This is nothing new. We said that the Packers started the clock ticking. Brian Gutekunst started the clock ticking, right? Are we wrong? They started the clock ticking. So you shouldn't be surprised by this. I thought it was wrong in the beginning. And now you're finding out about it. Oz says, just my opinion, I'm not in charge, but I would fire Ted Jr. and trade some guys to get Julio Jones here. Rodgers has been here longer than Ted Jr. It's a much better shot of losing than losing Rodgers. Don't understand why it would be hard to do when you're talking about your best shot at bringing millions to the franchise by winning. You win a Super Bowl, you make so much money via marketing as far as your franchise goes, it's ridiculous. But the fear has always been that if we push the can down the road, we're going to have a year, we're going to win a couple Super Bowls, but we're going to have a couple of down years where we don't make the postseason, we can't get that money. And I ask you, as a Packers fan, would you rather have a couple more Super Bowls and a couple of years that you didn't make it to the postseason because you got to kind of restructure things and rebuild things and cut guys loose than just a bunch of years of going to the postseason? I think we would all say, look, I think at the end of this, wouldn't you feel better if you had 2+ decades, almost 3 decades of Hall of Fame quarterback play, and you would have more than just 2 Super Bowls to show for it? You would like to have 5? or 4, 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Joe, listening to us in Georgia. Joe, how you doing today, man? What's going on?
Hey, Bill, thanks for having me on, man.
You bet.
I kind of my mind's drawing a blank here. I had a couple thoughts that I wanted to mention, but this whole thing, man, it's just disgusting. It's disgusting. It's reckless. It's childish. It's immature. And frankly, it's both sides.
Yeah.
And I've been back and forth of, well, Rodgers is being petty. Look, I get both sides feelings on this. I understand that. I mean, when you're a parent and you have kids, you got to put yourself in other people's shoes. And, Bill, you and I both played college, albeit we didn't play NFL at a high level. I mean, I played D3, but so it wasn't at like the highest level, but I still have an idea when you're in a locker room with really, really talented guys. And if there is a coach or maybe an athletic director that, someone really hates or something, and it can create this division within the locker room, it's a real thing. And I think right now, look, at this point, the love pick is done, right? We can't go back and change it. I mean, it just can't be changed. I understand why Goody picked Love. I understand it from a building standpoint, if you will. I get it. I didn't want him to pick Love. I wanted him to grab Claypool in the first round. And guess what, Bill? If he grabbed Claypool in the first round last year, people would have ripped him because he reached for Claypool that early. So here's my point, though. If I'm Goody right now, I would go to Aaron. And he already has, I know that. But I'd go to him in person, face-to-face, and say, look, man, I screwed the Love pick up. I acknowledged that during draft weekend, that I should have handled it better. My communication has been more crappy with you. And that's on me. I want to make it right. This is a Super Bowl roster. We can win a Super Bowl now. We can win a Super Bowl next year. Hell, we could even try to go for 3 in a row. The first step that I have to take in this to reconcile this, to make all this right for you, for this organization, for our fans, let me take this first step. I want you to be a part of this, and I want you to feel you have a voice in this. And I want to make a move to bring in, let's just say, I'm not going to say a co-GM, but I'm going to bring in someone in the personnel side that you trust and you like, that can kind of be a liaison, so to speak, a little bit, to kind of help us work through this some. Now, this would be breaking the mold of Goody, but this is what you have to do when you're reconciling things, no matter if it's a marriage, a friendship, a partnership in business, a sports team, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. It's communication. And then if I'm Goody, I say, look, I want you here. And we will make the contract work. We will make the cap work. I'm going to, if it takes a first rounder for me to give up, I'm going to go get Julio. And I'm not doing that just, hope you stay like that. I'm doing it because this is my first step to try to show you and prove to you, hey, trust can be rebuilt. And this is what I can control. And this is what I can do for us that can help. It will help the team. It will help a lot of different things. If not him, Aaron, tell me what I can do to help. Just tell me. If you want me to go get Sheldon Richardson, I'll go sign him. We got to do some things with the cap to make that work. We can always make the cap work. Tell me what to do, because I'm not getting fired. I'm not going to resign. I've been a pretty good GM since I took over. The cupboard was pretty empty when, with Ted's last couple of years. And,
Right.
and don't say this part to Aaron, but let's remember though, Bill, Aaron wanted McCarthy out. They moved McCarthy out, not just for Aaron. I know that, but Aaron had a big part in that. So if I'm Goody, if you can approach it that way, that to me would be a very good first step into showing. You can say everything you want to say. You got to show it, though. Actions speak louder than words. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you're Goody and you can do that, I'm doing that because, Bill, at this point, what else is going to reconcile this?
Yeah, you don't have. I don't. That's just it. I mean, I don't know if that's been done, not been done. I don't know if there's too much water under the bridge. That's the scary thing. Is last night it didn't sound like. I mean, the one piece of hope I got out of that interview was when he said everything's still on the table.
Okay, well, here's one thing, Bill, too, and I agree with you on that. Check this out. Julio Jones yesterday on live TV said, "I'm done. I want out."
Right.
Aaron did the opposite of that last night. He never said, "I'm done, I'm out." He didn't even come close to saying, "I'm done, I'm out." Julio Jones did when he was on live TV yesterday. So I guess the point, that I took out of it as, I don't think Aaron wants to go. I believe he wants to finish in Green Bay, win another title or two in Green Bay. I believe Aaron would love to go out like Elway did, win 2 more Super Bowls with Green Bay and retire. And then Jordan Love takes over. But I think the thing about it is, Bill, if I'm Goody, or I don't know if it's really Mark Murphy, but Goody's going to have to come to the table, and whatever he said to this point or tried to this point, he has to do more. And because the last thing, Bill, this is nerve-wracking, really thinking Green Bay is going into this season without Aaron Rodgers under center.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not good. It's not good. I think LaFleur's a great coach. They got a great coaching staff. And I think they'll be okay. Maybe they go, 6-11, maybe 7-9 with maybe, just because the roster is good. But at least if I'm Aaron, though, too, or if I'm Goody, I'll say to Aaron, dude, hate me. Hate me, man. That's fine. Hate me. I understand. But there's teammates in there. There's coaches in there. And even though the fans really don't matter, there's fans out there that adore you, that love you. They supported you with the Favre saga. And they did. And we did, Bill.
Yep.
Green Bay fans did. And Aaron Rodgers was smack in the middle of that. So he should know how hard a situation like this is and how difficult it can be to kind of navigate this, if that makes sense.
Right.
Now, I know the Favre thing was a little bit different, but just wanted to get your take on that and what you think. What would you do if you're Green Bay right now at this point to just, would you go trade Julio? Would you say, look, here, Atlanta, here's a first rounder for Julio?
You know what? I'm really late for a break. That's a terrific call. Let me do this. I appreciate the phone call, and let's take a quick break. We'll come back, and I want to expound upon that because this is where I want to pick up, because I think it's a very valid point with what's been said. Now what to do. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show is next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket, this is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
What's that? No, he was spot on. No, but that's the big question. And I get that. I understand exactly what he's saying. They fucked up. Either the communication wasn't there, or he was thinking, "Hey, we're right there, we're ready to go," and instead they got a guy that wasn't even going to help them play. So they fucked up. And that's been the argument about this organization for a long time, is they just don't go all in all the time. I mean, when you're right there and you know you're right there, at some point you got to jump. So now, okay, that's all water under the bridge. So now what? What do you do? It's already been known that Mark and Judy and Matt have all gone out there. That's exactly what I was saying. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall of that meeting. Right? I mean, did he even let him in the door? How long of a meeting was it? Was he looking at him through the mail slot? Right? Exactly. That's my point. Exactly. No. I don't know. I don't think he's that thing. Aaron's not. He's just not that way. But the guy remembers, you wrong me, I'll wrong you. I'll do everything I can to prove you wrong. Right. Hey, did you get those tickets I sent you? Good. No. That's fine. That's fine. A buddy of mine had some extras, and I was
Bill
thinking
Michaels will resume in 1
and
minute.
you know what? I could have used them, but you know what? You've done a lot for me. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. I'll see you guys. No, go ahead and let yourself out. Just go ahead and let yourself out. I can control everything from up here. I'll just shut the garage door. But no, go ahead. All right, cool.
Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
I forget the mic's on, gang.
You got to hit it, bang it, rock it, put it in the pocket. Hit it, bang it.
Every now and then you forget that the microphone on the live stream is always on. So had some friends that stopped by and we're listening to we're watching, really, sitting off to the side here, watching the program. So they were hanging out. I'm talking to those guys. I forget. Welcome back. The Bill Michaels Show continues on. Hey, before I go any further, our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, 6 years, no interest financing on Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And that's a big deal because in 6 years, you're going to have it paid off, right? You pay it off, 6 years, no interest. How are we looking? And then you figure usually whatever you buy after 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it happens to be, the warranty's out. Nay. You got a limited lifetime warranty on the doors and windows. Plus, you've got a 10-year installation warranty as well, which is a big deal, which means even after you pay these things off, it very, 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 very rarely ever happens. But if anything should go wrong, you've got that, peace of mind right there in your back pocket. That's from our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. So beat the summer heat and stay cozy in the wintertime. And it's energy efficient doors and windows, and they don't squeak. They don't stick. When you roll them up, they just close and you put the latch down real easy. You don't need to force it down to try to get the window to shut or try to move the window side to side. So it, kind of jostles into position so you can actually lock it to have security. Nay. Good stuff from our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin for the free, no commitment consultation, whether it's in the showroom or right in your own home, where they can come in, they can give you the whole deal, they can measure everything out, give you the estimate, the whole thing. For the free consultation, go to PellaWI.com/radio. Pella, P-E-L-L-A, PellaWI.com/radio, or just call them. 855-PELLA-WI. That's 855-PELLA-WI. 855-PELLA-WI. Tom says, yeah, the mic was hot and you were spot on. Well, at least what I say off the air is what I say on the air, and I'm not this rambling buffoon, I guess. I did drop a few F-bombs. Sorry about that. But that, again, goes back to adults in a bar talking sports. I think we've all heard, emphatic, passionate language, we'll call it. So 877-867-1670. So before I get back to the phone calls, okay? By the way, coming up in the next hour, about an hour from now, Pete Doherty, the Green Bay Press Gazette's going to be joining us, and we're going to get his thoughts on this because he is at practice. He is going to have a chance to talk to Matt LaFleur, and we'll get his take on all of this coming up here in about an hour. However, our caller before, Joe from Georgia, was pretty much on the mark. And here's the thought process. So Rodgers, what he said, I understand. I get it. I get why he's upset. It was something that I've said in the past, something that I felt strongly about, but I always try to take everything into consideration so I can waver. My opinion at times can waver because I start to talk myself into other we all do it, into other avenues, into other opinions, because that's what good conversation and gathering knowledge and becoming smarter does. That's what you do. You listen to everything and then make what you consider to be a very educated opinion upon. So then Rodgers comes on last night and says what he says, and I went back to, that's right. That's the way I felt. My initial reaction when the Jordan Love pick came was not, I felt bad for Jordan Love because Jordan Love, he could end up being a terrific quarterback, but it was the wrong place at the wrong time. When this franchise was so hopeful, and again, on draft night, we kept sitting there watching the draft choices be taken. And wide receiver after wide receiver after wide receiver were kind of like, And then you hear about a trade, and you're thinking, okay, who's the best available right now? Holy mackerel, Patrick Queen is there. Now, it's not a wide receiver, but it's a legitimate linebacker that's going to make this defense better in the here and the now. And then they announced Jordan Love. They could have announced almost anybody else, and we would have went, okay, maybe, we can see that. But a quarterback, and then much less a quarterback who they were never going to dress, that's where the argument became reality of, do you care about now? Do you care about winning today? Or is it just about sustainability and getting to the postseason and hedging your bets for the down the road rather than what's here in front of you, And that's when that reality began to sink in. So I understand what Aaron Rodgers is saying. Okay, so he's pissed off. He proved him wrong. He's coming off of a season, remember, when they drafted Jordan Love, in which he broke his knee. He broke his knee and tore his MCL and still came back and played. So his numbers were down. His throwing was off. He didn't look right. But then you find out, oh, by the way, he had a fractured knee. Holy mackerel. Then they draft Jordan Love. And then he has so then you think, what can cure this? So I don't know in what succession people traveled to see Aaron. Did Matt LaFleur go out there first? Did Mark Murphy go out there first? Did Brian Gutekunst go out there first? I gotta think that Goody and Mark went to him after understanding the consternation and said, hey, man, what's going on? And then, I don't know if Aaron let him in. I don't know if he made him look at him through the mail slot. I don't know if they came in, he sat down, he went, okay, you're not changed my mind. You screwed up. Talk to you later. I don't know what those meetings were like. I get the sense that maybe Matt LaFleur went out there first and found out that Rodgers is so pissed, somebody better go back out there and try to. Gutekunst and Murphy went out there and do everything he can to try to coax him to come back. He likes you. I don't know. But now the question is, and again, I go back to, my buddy Ernie Betts from Viroqua said this to me earlier today after talking with him on the air. He said, Bill, so what fixes this? I don't know. I wish I had an idea. I mean, if you go hat in hand to Aaron Rodgers at this point and say, man, we screwed up, we did this, we underestimated you, you proved me wrong, good for you. Hey, this is what we want to do. We want to go all in. We want to give you this guy. We want to give you that guy. I want to go after Julio Jones. Can you help us out via contract? Can you give us some? We want to give you security. We want to go 5 years, 7 years, whatever it happens to be. I mean, we want to give you all of this to prove to you that we're sincere in what we're saying. I don't know if that's enough. And here's the reason why. Have you ever met somebody where they're like this? This is what they are. This is what they do. This is the way they act. And all of a sudden, crap goes really sideways. And they come back to you and go, man, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm going to change. This is not the way we're going to do it. This is the way we'll do it. You know, do you really trust them? Do you look them in the eye and go, yeah, okay, I'll give you a shot? Or do you say, I've given you so many shots in different ways that I just believe you're full of crap? That's where I'm at when I think of whether or not Aaron Rodgers would look at the Packers organization, more so the front office, and say, I believe you. Or, okay, let's do this. But I'll say this. If I'm going to go to Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to go to Aaron Rodgers and be very frank and very honest. And I'm going to say the Jordan Love pick was a mistake. We underestimated what it is you could do. That's on us. What I want to do is move forward. I don't want to forget about it because we don't want to make that. We don't want to have history repeat itself. But there's two things I want to appeal to you. One is your legacy. And we want you to be a quarterback that remains with the same team. We want you to be the most decorated quarterback in Packer history. We want to do everything we can to guarantee that we are putting all of our chips into the middle of the table, because your legacy, you know it as we know it, is tied to Super Bowls. So whatever we need to do to go for Super Bowls, we're going to do. And if you end up getting hurt or something along the way, then Jordan Love is going to have his shot. Do everything you can to teach him to be the best backup he can be. But we want your legacy to be tied to us forever. And you appeal to his legacy. You appeal to the ego of being the best. You appeal to that every family has squabbles, but every family can come back from that. And then I think you say, if it comes down, we don't want to buy you with money. We want to know what you think we should do with the money, and let's talk about this. Because if you make all the money, we can't pay anybody else. So it's not about trying to lowball you here. It's let's sit down with reality. You know, maybe they've done that. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is a smart guy. He has to know. Because if it's all about making money, then let him go. You know, and he's got to know that. But if this is truly about legacy, if it's truly about the people, if it's truly about keeping your guys together, look, we can't keep every guy, but we'll do everything we possibly can to keep the guys that matter. And if one gets away or two get away, we have to understand there's a price to doing business, but we'll do everything we can. And that's the way you appeal to him. Beyond that, I don't know what else to do. Because if he says, I don't want to work with you anymore, then he doesn't care about the legacy. He doesn't care about coming back to this franchise. In his mind, it's over. And the one thing that he did not say last night, and I know some of you are saying when he was asked about, do you want to trade? He said, yeah. He didn't mean it the way I took it was, he didn't mean it in going, yes, I want to trade. He meant it as in saying, yeah, this is more complicated than just saying I want to trade. Yeah, my situation is different. It's kind of like when he talked about, this is not about the draft pick, and then he quickly stopped himself and said, this is not about Jordan Love. I really love Jordan Love. I love Jordan. He's a good guy, blah, blah, blah. And then he talked about his teammates and coaching staff. It's about the pick, But it's not about the pick itself. It's about the process and the value of the pick at the time, of what you did, when you did it, where we were at as a franchise, and what your thought. It's about what your thought process was going into that pick. You didn't believe in me. You didn't believe in us. You didn't believe in this team as to where we were. You didn't believe in the coaching staff. You didn't believe in the ability for us to overcome. And we did it. We proved you wrong. You wanted to move on. That was your belief. It's not about the pick. It's about the thought process going into the pick. So when he was asked about, do you want to be traded? And he said, yeah, my situation, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't, yes, I want to be traded. It was, yeah, my situation is different. So everything's on the table, which again, as somebody who sits here today and says, man, it didn't sound good last night. 70% of me still says he's gone. But there is a hopeful 30% that they can come to some kind of an agreement. Because if Aaron Rodgers comes back, he's all in. He's not coming back to just come back for a year and say, the hell with it, He's not coming back to throw incomplete passes. He's coming back to if for those that believe his numbers mean something to him, you're damn right. He's not coming back to just play to play. He's coming back to win and coming back to stick it in your rear end all over again. That's going to still sit on his shoulder. But he's coming back for Devontae. He's coming back for David. He's coming back for Aaron. He's coming back for all those guys. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. I got a lot of people on hold. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show, and it's coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back, Bill Michaels Show, and we continue on. Brent says Blake Bortles also not at the OTAs. Uh-oh, let's start freaking out. He is probably upset with the front office as well. Let's see the stupid people on here read into that. Yeah, some of these guys, if they're not at OTAs, no big deal. I do find it interesting, though, that Blake Bortles is being brought in a situation in which he may end up being either a starter or a backup, and yet he is in some way, shape, or form not there learning the Matt LaFleur offense. Just so you know. Interesting. I'm not, freaking out or anything like that, but just, it is what it is. Let's go back to the phone calls. And by the way, in just a second, we'll go to the phone calls. Want to want you to know that our friends at Numel Medical, I was over there today, as a matter of fact, and stopped in and said hi to the guys this morning. Dr. Carlos, Dr. Tim, everybody at the Numel Medical Center, the one in Milwaukee. Now there's one in Milwaukee and one in Green Bay. But they're helping guys with ED. There was another gentleman there this morning, came out and said, "Hey, I heard it on your program," which is a little weird. But hey, if you got stuff going on or maybe not going on, they can help. The medical experts at Numel Medical Center, they're helping guys with ED, erectile dysfunction. They've got a 98% success rate. 98%. Think about that in the totality. But when it comes to low energy, maybe brain fog, sluggish, moody, could be low T, could be vitamins, could be supplements, could be whatever it is you possibly need. Go in if you're, say, over the age of 30 and you just want to get checked. Maybe 10, 15, can put you on a program and get kind of energized and such all over again. Or maybe you're feeling sluggish because you're 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds overweight. And you want to start kind of jumpstart the new you, get your energy back up. They can do that for you as well, the all-in-one weight loss program, which is tremendous, and it works. But you can't do anything if you don't call. Call them because it really, really does work. 414-455-4451. That's 414-455-4451. There's a buddy of mine. His name's Marty. He went there and was skeptical. He's like, and they do the test, and he said it was as little as they didn't tell him that he had to go on all this really crash diet or anything like that. They just changed a few things in his eating habits and gave him some supplements, and he started losing weight almost immediately. And the one thing about Marty is Marty's always been one of those guys where it's like 10 o'clock at night, he is done. And when Marty goes out now, Marty was telling me last week, he's like, man, I was out till 1 a.m. And he's like, I really didn't feel like it was 1 a.m. There's a level of energy, and he sleeps better at night, which actually gives him more energy during the day. It's amazing when you start to get your body into a good rhythm and a good place, what it can do for you and how you can feel. And he swears by it. He's like one of their biggest, hand of God type of things. So do like my buddy Marty. He's the one that said to me, hey, Bill, does it really work? I'm like, yeah, it really works. You just got to do it. Nothing's guaranteed unless you do it. I told him years ago when he was putting on like 30 extra pounds, I said, you're not going to lose weight unless you get off your dead ass. You can't just take a pill and have all of a sudden your weight fall off and you're looking like an Adonis. You got to do something and put a little effort into it. So, and he did, and he's feeling great. 414-455-4451. That's 414-455-4451. Let's get back to the phone calls. Let's go to Tim listening to us out in Sparta. Tim, how you doing today, man? What's up?
Hey, buddy. Good to hear from you today.
Appreciate it, pal. What's happening?
Well, you kind of stole some of my point that I was going to make, which was that every team that has won a Super Bowl with a sub Hall of Fame quarterback, they've all had great defenses.
Great defenses.
And if you can argue that point, you're an idiot. I mean, if you try to argue it, you're just an idiot. Because it takes a Hall of Fame quarterback to get there if you don't have one. And we have one. Does he have an ego? Name me a quarterback that doesn't.
Right.
I mean, it's just, and you've got Dave from Winona going, he's not tough. His numbers were down. Let's see. He came back early from his collarbone break, when everybody was expecting him to be done for the season, to try to save Green Bay and get them into the playoffs.
And threw the touchdown pass to Randall Cobb that put him in the postseason.
Yeah, and then what does he do? Then he has a fractured leg and a torn meniscus and plays on it all season long.
Right.
Why? Because he wants to get to the Super Bowl. And what do? We keep taking things like Vince Beagle instead of TJ Watt because our guys know better.
Right.
We keep giving him defenses that are porous at best. We have a chance when they took Love, and I hear they're going up to take a pick, and I'm going, oh my God, Patrick Queen is there. The guy in the middle who can go sideline to sideline for years to come is there waiting, and that's what they're doing. And then they take Jordan Love, who I've seen the film on. I got a buddy who's one of these film nuts. He sent me 3 hours of just him. When somebody's open, he can hit him because he's got a cannon of an arm.
Right.
But he can't throw anybody open. So unless they can change his looking downfield, recognizing the defense and saying, I need to throw it here, we're back to the days of Lynn Dickey and we suck. And for those people that, like Dave seems to want that, I don't know why. Maybe he's still mad about Favre and how he went out. Maybe. But it makes no sense to me. We have a chance to go back to the Super Bowl. We're 2 players short on the defense. And yet, what are we doing? We're expanding Title Town. We're getting to the playoffs so that we can continue to funnel money into the future, and yet we're wasting the greatest thrower of the football's lifetime here in Green Bay because we can't go out and get a couple of defensive players.
It's always been about trying. I appreciate the phone call, Tim. I got to run it because I'm woefully late for break. But it's what Aaron has basically stated is when we really needed something, you went in a different direction, and he philosophically he's like, I can't justify you telling me to go out and we're going to really try to go for it and we're a Super Bowl contender when you're not really trying to be a Super Bowl contender. You're fishing for something and nobody really knows what it is. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Doing a little grilling last night. If you follow on the Facebook fan page, I had a great night last night. I was sitting out back on the patio, and Elmo was out there with me. And last night I got crafty. I felt like one of those ladies you see wandering around Hobby Lobby. So I did a little painting last night. I have these tiki bar signs and all this different stuff outside, and I was just kind of touching it up and getting it ready for the season. And my wind chime had over the last couple of years, the strings had just dry rotted and the chimes had started falling off. So I restrung that, and I actually got out the sewing kit. I have one of those magic mesh doors on my patio door where you can go in and out, and then the mesh closes it. The magnetic doors close. And I do that because of Elmo, so when him and Mickey was alive, but they could go in and out at will. So I kind of sewed that back out. So I was doing a bunch of crafts last night, but I was doing some grilling, and I had the games on. I was flipping back and forth between the Brewers and the Bucks last night as the Bucks just ran away with things. So I was kicking off my tailgate season. You can do the same for yours. ScholzeFamilyBeef.com. That's the way to go. SCHOLZE. ScholzeFamilyBeef.com. Again, SCHOLZE. They have everything from brats to steaks, chops. They've got fillets and ribeyes and New York strip and prime cut and you name it, they've got it. And being a family farm right here in Wisconsin, they can get your order, they can package it up, send it off to you. It'll be there in just a couple of days. And by the weekend, you're ready to go. For the beginning of your week, you're ready to go. For your trip up north, you're ready to go. To go to the lake and then pull it all out and do some grilling out there with the family, you're ready to go. Whatever it is, get it from Scholze Family Beef. Go to Scholze, Scholze, ScholzeFamilyBeef.com. If you want delicious, pasture-raised beef right here from a farm in Wisconsin, go to Scholze, Scholze, ScholzeFamilyBeef.com, and support local. Keep them going from their family farm to your family table. That's our great friends and terrific sponsor from Scholze Family Farms, Scholze, ScholzeFamilyBeef.com. That is ScholzeFamilyBeef.com. And this is from that's from Greg, who says get 2 TVs to flip back and forth between the games. You know what? I can only fit 1 TV outside on the Tiki Bar. So there you go. There you have it. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. We'll continue with the phone calls when we come back. 3 hours down. We have another one yet to go. Pete Doherty from the Green Bay Press-Gazette going to join us at the bottom of the next hour. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Milwaukee Bucks have taken a 2-0 lead in its best-of-7 series with Miami following a 132-98 victory at the Fiserv Forum last night. The Bucks hit a franchise record 15 three-pointers in the first half and led by 27 at the break. Milwaukee would finish with 22 three-pointers, the most in a single playoff game by the club. The series now shifts to Miami on Thursday, but Drew Holiday says they got to bring that same energy.
We got to go down there like it's us against the world. We know how it is when somebody goes back home and they're playing in front of their home crowd. We're going to have to wrap our arms around each other and be our own energy and be our own fan.
To the Packers, Aaron Rodgers has finally spoken. He appeared on Kenny Mayne's final show on ESPN, and Rodgers dodged questions about his career, but did say he has a gripe with the front office.
Never been about the draft pick. Picking Jordan. I love Jordan. He's a great kid. A lot of fun to work together. I love the coaching staff. Love my teammates. Love the fan base in Green Bay. It's incredible 16 years. It's just kind of about a philosophy, and maybe forgetting that it is about the people that make the thing go. It's about character. It's about culture. It's about doing things the right way.
Want to save even more at Fleet Farm? Well, now you can with Fleet Rewards. It's free to sign up, and there's no credit card required. Using Fleet Rewards is easy. Earn points every time you shop. Plus, get exclusive member offers, birthday and anniversary perks, free tire rotations, and more. Download the Fleet Farm app or create an account at fleetfarm.com/rewards to start earning points today. Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
Last night saw Brewers starting pitcher Brandon Woodruff dominate, going 7 innings, giving up just 3 hits and striking out 8 to pick up his 3rd win, as the Crew would beat the Padres 5-3 at American Family Field. The Brewers now 4-20 tonight with the first pitch at 6:40. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
a support of Custom Canines, which is a service dog academy. And there is a need in the area of about 170 service dogs overall. And it takes, believe it or not, about $25,000 to fully train a service dog. And they're hoping to just raise enough money for one. And our friends at the Water Doctors encourage you, whether it's $1, $10, $100, whatever it happens to be, if you can give anything to support the service dog industry for Custom Canines, you can go to H2, the number 2, the letter O, so H2O, like water, H2O Doctors, DOCTORS, RS, H2, the letter O, doctors.com, H2ODoctors.com, and click the link and make a donation. And they would really, it's called Every Little Drop Counts. And every little drop in the bucket of money counts. And they're trying to raise enough money to at least support one service dog for someone in need. And you know me and dogs, man. I absolutely love my dogs. And hopefully any dog that can help somebody out, I'd welcome that 100 times over. So if you can help out, go to H2, the letter O, doctors.com. That's H2, the letter O, doctors.com, and support Every Little Drop Counts. It's a terrific cause, and it's from a great company. So there you go. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Give us a shout. 877-867-1670. This one, let's see here. Who else do we have? Ben, do we still have, was it Tim from Sparta? Is he still on hold?
Yep.
He's there. Okay, there you go. Ben's chiming in, our producer, Ben Kenny. Let's go to Tim, listening to us in Sparta. Tim, how you doing? Tim!
Hey.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, Bill, I think you got a pretty good beat on the whole issue. I think you fleshed it out pretty good over the last few weeks. But you and I think, come down on different sides of the issue. Wasn't it 2 years ago where Murphy, when they hired LaFleur, Murphy said to Aaron, "Don't you be the problem"?
Correct.
Didn't I recall him saying that?
That's what was written, yes.
Yep, and I think after a couple of years, he's found a way to become the problem. Last night, wagging his finger about character, about culture, and I think it was just been buoyed by a decade and a half of adulation, and I think he really doesn't like regular player treatment at this point. I think he thinks he deserves prima donna treatment, and sad to say, but some personalities just want to be pursued, and it just feeds their ego, and I think that's his personality. And it's sad, but and as you said earlier, there might not be a fix.
Well,
because he's certainly not going to change his personality.
Well, I see. Here's the thing: is and I'm not in favor of players making the decisions. Okay, but star players, like any star employee, you're just treated different. You just are. You've earned that. You've earned that respect. You've been a winner. You've been a producer. Whatever it happens to be, you earn that along the way. I don't think he's saying I want to make decisions. I think what he wants is, hey, come down and talk to me. Let's feel like we're in this together. And I think, honestly, I don't think it's just like the Jake Kumaro thing or anything like that. I think what happened was they didn't believe in the guy. And when you were right there on the cusp of winning, when everybody just assumed you were going to go all in and start pushing your chips in the middle of the table, you went for the future. And that just it didn't sit well.
He's 38. He will be at the beginning of the season.
At the beginning of this season, when you drafted Jordan Love, he was 36 years old.
So is it the Packers' fault that they have a succession plan? I mean, thank goodness they do, because Rodgers wouldn't be there if they didn't either.
Well, no, it's different though, because Brett Favre had talked about retiring, and Aaron Rodgers fell into their lap. He was supposed to be the number 1 overall, and he fell to them at 24. Where Aaron Rodgers has stated all along, "Hey, I'm 36. I want to play till I'm 45, and just like Tom Brady is, and I want to be here the rest of my career." So, and then they jumped up to get Jordan Love, right?
I just don't see why, even though he's a quarterback and yes, he's a superstar. We all compete. Every guy on that team has to compete. How can you go in the huddle and say, "Hey, I'm different"? You guys have to fight for your job, but when I have to, no, I'm gonna throw a little fit.
Well, but then again, people say, "Hey, I want to come there to play with Aaron Rodgers." He is different. Nobody's saying I want to come there to play with Kevin King, or I want to come there to play with Blake Martinez, or I want to come in there to play with Clay Matthews. They're all saying I want to come and play with Aaron Rodgers. He is different.
The crux of the problem, tell me if I'm wrong, but it's a year or two. He wants to be there a year or two longer than he thinks they want him there.
He wants to be there 5 years longer than they want him there. He wants to be there until he's mid-40s.
And there's no guarantee that he'll play till his mid-40s. No guarantee at all.
Right.
Just because one guy has done it.
It's not here's the thing. You're absolutely right. It's not about getting a backup for Aaron Rodgers. It's about the fact that when you thought you're going to go get us some additional help, you went and you started immediately planning for the future. They were still there. I mean, we didn't think Aaron Rodgers was going to be done at 39, right?
No. He probably.
So when he's 36, they drafted his replacement and gave him 2 years. They started the clock ticking. Why would you do that? And that's exactly what they did. That's the point. It's not the fact that they chose Jordan Love. It's the fact that the mentality was, instead of going all in when the iron is hot, they chose to say, let's start the clock ticking on the future.
They have the deepest team that they have had since probably 2010. So it's not like they're not all in. They're up against the salary cap. They've spent every dime they could. They got a good team.
They have a good team. I agree with that. But you could have gotten another wideout. You could have gotten a guy like Patrick Queen to be your linebacker for a long time to come and bolstered your defense. You could have done other things. You chose a guy that didn't even dress.
The most important position on the team, quarterback, and it's their fault because they didn't get some depth, or they got some depth there. I just don't see it.
You can get depth in many. You already had depth. You had Tim Boyle. Did you think that if Aaron Rodgers went down, that suddenly Jordan Love was going to be your answer at quarterback anyway?
No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No. So why go in that direction?
Why not?
Because you didn't need. Because there's no reason to. There was no reason to. That's the point.
Say that to the teams that have been looking for a quarterback for 15 years or more.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. You're looking for other teams are looking for quarterbacks. You're drafting a guy you don't need when you have one. Don't push the one you have out the door, because teams are looking for quarterbacks. That's you proved my point.
I guess we differ on pushing out the door.
Well, the plan is to keep him around for 2 more years and make his contract friendly enough that you can boot him out the door.
Well, he's got 3 years on his contract. I mean, they could keep him 3 more years, this year and 2 more, if they want to.
They could, but the argument is that you want to see what you have in Jordan Love, so they're going to start playing Jordan Love. I mean, that's just it.
Maybe after this year, probably at least after next year.
Well, but that's my point. I appreciate the phone call. Look, the bottom line was you proved my point. All these teams are looking for quarterbacks. You're right. So why would you draft a quarterback when you have one? Why would you start the clock ticking on a Hall of Famer when all these other teams are killing to try to find a good quarterback? And you're pushing the good one out the door. It's not about whether or not they did or didn't choose Jordan Love. They could have done it. It's about the fact that they were coming out of an NFC Championship game. And you picked a guy, instead of somebody to help the team in the first round, you picked a guy that didn't even dress. That wasn't going to help your team. and you gave up a draft choice to get him. The timing of the pick was bad. Ryan says, once again, go watch the games from the past 2 to 3 seasons with Rodgers. That's why they drafted Love. Come on, man. Again, Ryan. No. You're talking, Ryan, you are talking about a guy that put up numbers that were equal to or better than a majority of quarterbacks in the National Football League. He did not live up to the Aaron Rodgers standard, but he put up numbers better than the majority of quarterbacks out there. I watched the games. Ryan, I'm at every game. I'm there. He missed some receivers. Yes. You got to remember you got to remember 2019, when everybody's basing all of this. Okay? 2019. First year of a new quarterback and a new system. He threw for over 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 4 picks. His completion percentage was only 0.3 points lower than his last season. Remember, they didn't have as many wideouts. They were still looking for additional wideouts. He threw the ball away quite a bit. The year prior to that was the year that he broke his knee and threw for 25 touchdowns and 2 picks. 2018, he had a 97.6 quarterback rating on a broken knee and a torn MCL. Better than most quarterbacks in the National Football League. And you want to say, well, that was a down year. The year before that, that was the broken collarbone. So then Mike McCarthy and all the tumultuousness that goes with it, he still throws up a 97.6 quarterback rating. He still plays in all 16 games. And with all of that and a bad defense, they went 6-9-1. The next year, under a new head coach, with a new offense, when you talk about, well, look at the results, look at what he did. He threw 26 touchdowns, 4 picks, 4,000 yards, 62% completion percentage. And they went 13-3 with a bad defense. And was sacked 36 times. And then this year he comes out and lights it up. You can tell me all you want about, look at his numbers. They had to draft Love. You could get a quarterback. It was the timing of it and the way they went about it. Period. And he's right when he said his down years are what most quarterbacks dream of. That's what I'm saying. Wait till you get numbers that are 25 touchdowns, 10, 15 picks, and just back rating of 93 to 95. Wait till you get that consistently, and that's the high watermark. I'm telling you now, Jordan Love, you better go to church on Sundays and say 20 novenas that he is the real deal. Because if you go back to pedestrian numbers, they will look beyond pedestrian to what Aaron Rodgers' numbers, even in his worst season, has put up. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to find us, please go ahead and do so. 877-867-1670. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
With fresh strawberries. Cider Boy Strawberry Magic Hard Cider.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Through the 20th, and we want you there. We want to take you to Road America with us. How about that? We're not throwing a party just for 1 or 2 people. We're throwing it for 60. That's the way you do it. You do it big time. And what we want is for you to go to the website, go to thebillmichaels.com. That's thebillmichaels, Michaels, thebillmichaels.com, and get registered. And if you are a winner, we invite you and 5 of your friends to Road America to come with us. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you tickets to the race, and it's June 17th through the 20th, by the way. I'm going to be there doing the show on the Friday before. So we are going to invite you to come by and enjoy the race, do a little camping with us. And then the day of the race, we are going to do a big tailgate party. And the tailgate party is basically food and beverages supplied by Quick Trip, which they are also the official fuel provider of the Big Unit Cruiser, which we're going to debut there as well, officially, so to speak. But we are going to also do food. We are going to do brats, burgers, hot dogs, hamburgers, all that kind of stuff. We're going to do the buns and all the, kind of the extras. We'll do, chips and dips and stuff. And in addition to that, we have got compliments of our friends at Robert's Specialty Meats. Go to Robert's Specialty Meats, Waukesha.com, and you can check out the ribs on a stick. And we're going to do 40 pounds of ribs on a stick. And in addition to that, we are going to do some beverages from our friends at Bud Light, bringing those along as well. So we got a lot going on. And we're also going to bring the Cruiser, the Big Unit Cruiser, compliments of our friends at Kunes, KUNESRV, KUNESRV.com. So if you want to camp, if you win the package with us and you're going to be there tailgating, you don't have a camper of any kind, whether it's a pop-up, a tow behind, a fifth wheel, or you want a Class C or a Class A, whatever it happens to be, you can go to Kunes, KUNES, and you can rent one. You can try it before you buy it. Go to Kunes, KUNESRV.com, KUNESRV.com. And a lot of good stuff from those people. They're good people. And we're going to get around the track and enjoy ourselves and see all the sights and see you and travel around from our friends at Road Track and Trail. out in Big Bend, Wisconsin. The world's largest power sport company, roadtrackandtrail.com. That's roadtrackandtrail.com. So to get registered, go to thebillmichaels.com. We're going to see you at the IndyCar series coming to Road America the middle of June. Again, go to thebillmichaels.com. We only got a couple of weeks left, and then we are going to make the drawing, and we're going to announce the winners. So if you haven't gotten in yet, please do. It's a great way for all of us to get together, go out and have a really, really good time. Okay? 877-867-1670. Christian says, memo to all who think Rodgers needs to go. You're blanking idiots. He leaves. Welcome back to the 1980s. If anybody is spoiled, it's a Packers fan after the last 2 decades with 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And then #idiots. David says, speaking of the 70s and 80s, I lived through the Jerry Tagg, Scott Hunter, Jim DelGazio eras. I want someone more current. Remember Brett Hundley? People forget he wandered in the desert for quite a few years before the incredible run of the Super Play. The next one might be sitting in Houston right now. Yes, Aaron is still very good, but sometimes you have to strike when the opportunity comes up, not just when it's convenient. If you're saying the time was right to pick Jordan Love, nah. I think, go back to what Aaron was saying, the culture, the philosophy, he just believes it's not about winning. It's about just getting to the postseason. It's not about doing everything you can to win. It's not about the people. It's about treating people like commodities and interchangeable bits rather than treating them like human beings and having a consideration and a thought. That type of thing. So that's where that comes into play. That's what he's discussing, in my opinion. 877-867-1670. Again, 877-867-1670. Let's go to Steve. Steve, welcome to the program, The Bill Michaels Show. What's going on, man?
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
I'm doing well today. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking that the Green Bay Packers as an organization are crazy for drafting Jordan Love when they very well could have obviously gave Rodgers a receiver that would have helped our team. Not even just a receiver, a player that would contribute and actually suit up and play.
Right.
I just, I understand that Rodgers has got an ego, obviously, but I don't think it's any different than Brett Favre's was. And you take a look at what Tampa Bay did, what they sacrificed to put a team around Tom Brady, and they won a Super Bowl. And
Right.
They're probably going to contend for another one. So I don't understand why the Packers as an organization aren't doing the same thing for Rodgers as the Bucs did for Brady. I just don't understand it. I don't know if it's personnel. I don't know if it's because they don't have faith in Rodgers, or I just don't know what it is.
Tampa
So,
Bay
Bill, I'll tell
got
you what,
guys.
I'm glad to have you.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Bill, I'm glad to hear you back on the radio again, and I'm going to hang up, and I'm going to listen to your reply, and I wanted to thank you.
I appreciate it, pal. Thanks so much. Tampa Bay got guys at the back end of their career that came together, and then they won it. They took less to stay. They've got guys that believe in the system. They brought in a quarterback and said, we'll do whatever it takes to win. They listened to him. He brought in guys that weren't popular, obviously Antonio Brown. They get Gronk to come out of retirement that says, I want to go play with Tom. We've got a shot at glory. They know what it takes to win a championship, and they listen to the quarterback. You got a coach that bought into what the quarterback was selling. The quarterback bought into what the coach was selling. Everybody kind of came together, and they won a championship. And I think what Rodgers is looking at is not so much the talent. It's the fact that, they listened. You've got a front office who doesn't really want to talk to the people that actually do the work. And this was supposed to be the breaking down of silos. Now, Mark Murphy was not going to sit down and have a chat with every other day with Aaron Rodgers or anybody else on the team for that matter. But he was going to sit down with the general manager and then the conduit from the players, which is the head coach, to the general manager and to the president of the organization. So I think that's when you talk about what they did down in Tampa Bay. Now, granted, Tom Brady isn't making as much money as Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron has to understand that because it's not exactly the same. But I think when you talk about the openness, the dialogues, if you will, the expression of this is what we need, this is what we want to get, these are the holes we need to fill. What about this? What about that? The spitballing of ideas. You feel like you own something rather than being dictated to and being treated like, you're just another employee. And there is nobody that's a star in a company that is just another employee. We all know it. Okay? Everybody's worked in a company in which you hate it, but somebody's been treated differently because they are just that damn good. But you know why. They're just respected. And you aspire to that. You want to be that. You want to be to the point where you're so valuable that they respect you. And Aaron feels like this is a team that worries more about dollars and their own philosophy, which is different from the players in the locker room who want to win and win now. They want to be competitive to the point where they want to be able to say, we have a legitimate shot. Not only do we have a legitimate shot, we're the favorite. We're going all in. Put some faith in us. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Let's do this. Let's go to Kevin. Kevin, welcome to the program, The Bill Michaels Show, man. What's going on?
Well, hey, Bill, first of all, I love your program.
Thank you.
I called in. I've been listening to a bunch of these calls, and you kind of alluded to that just before I got through here. But, they got to admit that they made a mistake. And I think that would go a long ways. And the fact, they gain respect. A management person gains respect by admitting their own mistakes. And yes, the players should have a little input in some of the decisions because it makes them, it boosts morale. It also makes them feel like they're really part of the organization. And, like you could have a guy that sits up there like a dictator and says it's going to all be this way, this way, this way, and never accept any input. And what happens is the organization goes stale and it could fail. So I went to training classes where they try to tell you that, as an employee, you should not feel any ownership. Well, you know what? It doesn't work that way. So
yeah,
basically that was about it. So
all right, appreciate it, pal. Thanks for the phone call. 877-867-1670. Matt LaFleur did talk today about the Aaron situation. And the message to his team was, quote, control what you can control. That's it. By the way, for those that said there isn't a problem, this is all media hype, I'm waiting for the apology. Because Aaron's clearly not going to give you all the dirt, but there's clearly a problem. And if everybody said that it was overblown and it's all of us, I'm not going to hold my breath, but just to say, yeah, I understand though. You didn't want to believe it, but it's here. It has arrived in a very ugly way. We're going to talk with Pete Doherty, the Green Bay Press Gazette, when we come back, and I want to get his thoughts on all of this. He's heard Matt LaFleur now speak. He's heard some of the players. It's just an interesting day in Green Bay. So we'll get his thoughts on all of this when we come back. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. Glad to have you. The Bill Michaels Show continues on, and Matt LaFleur's message to the team was just control what you can control. And to talk more about it, joining us from the Green Bay Press-Gazette, Pete Doherty is here. Pete, how you been, man?
Good, Bill. How you doing today?
I am. I'm living with consternation over all of this. I get what Aaron Rodgers was saying last night. It wasn't the best way to, I guess, represent it, but give me your thoughts as to where things are. I mean, he had a chance last night to say he wanted out. He didn't really say it. He just said that he didn't believe in the philosophy of the culture anymore, but he said everything was on the table. So what do you think?
Honestly, I don't think we're in any different a spot than we were after the draft. He confirmed for anybody out there who thought this was all made up. I mean, he basically confirmed that there are real issues. So, at least those people should know that this isn't just a made up thing. And the rest of it is, I think we're still where we were. And it all comes down to how far is he willing to go to get traded, and how far will the Packers push it to get him to come back or to force him to come back until they decide that they would trade him. It's wherever those two things meet is, and that won't be till, I don't know, August, right? At the earliest.
Yeah. Do you think, and I know Matt LaFleur said that, they're still going to work through this and such, but was he talking about working through it without Aaron Rodgers, or do you think he was talking about working through it with Aaron Rodgers?
I think both. They've got to prepare in case he doesn't show up. They don't know for sure. So they've got to kind of have two offenses in mind, one with Love at quarterback and one with, or maybe Bortles, and one with Rodgers at quarterback. And right now, Love's the only one in there, the only one there. So that's who I would think they'd be, trying to tailor things for. And it's just going to be, more of this. We're all kind of guessing and speculating, and there'll be reports, between now and the end of July. And then what will really be the next date that really means a lot. It's less June 1st than it is the first day of training camp, and whether Rodgers shows up for that.
So I listened to what he had to say last night with the Kenny Mayne thing, and for all and granted, I get it. I thought it was a little bit weird, but I also understood it. Because he's not mad at Jordan Love. He's mad at the pick. They're coming off of an NFC Championship game. And instead of getting a wide receiver or Patrick Queen to roam the middle and help the defense, because the defense got smashed in the mouth by Mostert, instead they picked a guy that didn't even dress. They basically hit the button on fast forward, and we're looking now years down the road rather than in here and the now. And so when he talks about philosophy or culture, instead of kind of believing in the team you have and believing in the quote people, they just wanted to fast forward things and just say, Aaron, keep winning us games, and now we can go ahead and tutor the guy that's going to take over for you. Is that where, because it's not Jordan Love. Jordan Love had nothing to do with this. It was the philosophy and the thought process of going into that pick that ignited this, correct?
I think it was even more, I mean, obviously he'd have rather had a guy who was going to play while he's still a quarterback, and any of us would feel that way. But I still think it was more that he just he felt disrespected by drafting Love in the first round, that he had said he wanted to play for, several more years. And he felt underappreciated. I think that's probably the best way to state it. And he felt really underappreciated, and he feels like he's done a lot for the organization, and that they slapped him in the face. I think the organization has a really good argument for picking a quarterback just to protect themselves. It's only a late first round pick. I mean, those guys bust all the time at a lot of positions. So to get some insurance, I don't blame them for a second for that. So I always maintain that the pick, if Gutekunst is convinced this guy can play, that it's a good protected pick for the franchise. But I think that Rodgers took it as being pushed out the door and not being fully appreciated for everything he's done for the franchise, which is, let's face it, he's done a lot for this team. He's won them a lot of games.
So do you think that, because the argument is, well, for some will say, don't let the door hit you on the ass. Let's just push him out, move on. This team is good, and Jordan Love can take over, and everything's going to be fine. I keep saying, if you do that, you're talking 3-4 years before you're really going to be. If Jordan Love proves to be all of that, you're probably 2 or 3 years at least before you're really ready to win a Super Bowl, or at least get to a Super Bowl. If Jordan Love is even that good, right?
Yeah, if I'm the Packers, I'm doing everything I can to get Rodgers to come back. It sure looks to me, between what's been reported and, little things I've heard, but even just going by what's been reported, that they have done a lot to try to get him to come back. They've sent each of those guys out there to visit him. They don't do that for just anybody. They've offered him a really lucrative contract that would essentially guarantee he's their guy for the next 2 or 3 years. So I would continue to do all that and hope that he comes back. And then at some point, if he does hold out in training camp, which will be really costly for him, but if he does it, and if he looks like he's willing to sit to start the regular season, then they've got to start thinking about, do you trade him now where you can get the most for him and try to use that draft capital down the road, for instance, next year, if you decide you need a different quarterback, or do you just make him either play for you or not play for anybody? That's kind of what their choice could come down to if he's willing to go to the mat on this.
Talking with Pete Doherty, the Green Bay Press Gazette. So there's this discussion that a lot of these wide receivers decided not to show, and it was kind of a concerted effort to show support for Aaron Rodgers. Give me your thoughts on that.
I don't know if that's what they were. I guess it's all speculation. I didn't even think of it that way. I just thought of it more as those are guys on. A couple of them are guys on rookie contracts so they don't have any bonuses for showing up for workouts. Adams wants a new contract, so I'm sure that's why he's not here. And Lazard, same thing. He's on a first 4-year contract, so he probably doesn't have a bonus for showing up. So that's probably the biggest thing with those guys, is because there's guys all over the league who aren't showing up for these things, veteran guys. So I took it as that. But maybe they're showing solidarity with him. I don't know.
Before I let you go, I know
not the dumbest thing to do, right? If you're a receiver and you think he might be back, that's not the dumbest thing to do.
Right. I got a feel for guys like Aaron Jones who came back, a restructured contract of a guy like David Bakhtiari, Devontae Adams who's trying to figure out his future. There's some of these guys that you're looking at going, they probably wanted to come back or thought they were going to be here, winning and going for Super Bowls with Aaron Rodgers, and now all of that's up in the air. Don't you think at some point maybe his guys get a hold of him and say, hey, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, they're kind of in a tough spot, or kind of in the middle, because on the one hand, they want to support a guy who's their friend. Hey, I'm behind you, but they obviously want him back because they want to win football games, and gives them a great shot to win games. So, I'm sure he and Bakhtiari, they're pretty good friends. So I'm sure they've talked about this. Adams, I'm sure they've talked about this, and they probably will continue to. And, do you advise your friend to come back for you, or do you advise him to do whatever he thinks he's got to do to make his life, to make himself happy?
That's just it. This isn't about money. This is about just going someplace and being happy. And it's almost out of just an anger at this point. This is, that's why I can say yes, selfishly for me to come back, because this is about you just being pissed off. This is nothing more. This isn't like they're disrespecting you by not paying you or something, or putting good players on the field. There's some pretty good players here. Hey, before I let you go, and I got to ask you, when it comes to last night's appearance, did he, I saw some of the comments about Aaron Rodgers. Oh, he's got to be high. He just seemed like he's different. Is that a good way to put it?
He struck me in that, as he did all season on the Zoom interviews he'd do every Wednesday and then after games on Sundays. He was just, his vibe was so light last season, and it was introspective at times and just light, and his mood was pretty good. That doesn't jive with the anger that obviously has been stoking inside him going back to last April.
Right.
With a year ago April with the Love pick. So it's kind of this weird mix of he seemed like a different guy last year, and yet he was harboring some real resentment for the organization, and the two don't square up, at least on the surface. So I'm not sure what's going on there, other than he struck me as the same guy he was during the season last year.
Yeah, just a weird cat. Anyway, Pete, appreciate it on short notice, buddy. Thanks so much, and we'll touch base again soon, okay?
Sounds good, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, pal. Talk to you soon. There you go. Pete Doherty, the Green Bay Press-Gazette, giving us his thoughts. When we come back, we're going to wrap it up. But Matt LaFleur, stay tuned. It's coming up next on the Bill Michaels Show.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. We are glad to have you. Hey, a good friend of ours, big supporter of the program, helps us out each and every year. And with our on-site stuff and our good buddy at Dwayne's CoverItAll.com in Wausau, whether it's boat and cover and upholstery and all that kind of good stuff, or something in the office, something in a home, get a hold of our buddy Dwayne, Duanes, Dwayne's CoverItAll.com. That is Dwayne's CoverItAll.com. Also say hi to our friends Jeff and the whole gang out at Stoley's Hog Alley. Stoley's Hog Alley, STOLLEYS, Hog, HOGG, Alley.com in Oconomowoc. And if you're going to head out to Oconomowoc this weekend for the honor ride at Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, Stoley's Hog Alley right down the street, not far away. Terrific biker bar, but don't let that fool you because they have some unbelievable food and great people there. and a really, really good restaurant side. So check out Stoley'sHogAlley.com. Matt LaFleur today in a Q&A addressing the media regarding the Aaron Rodgers situation. Take a listen.
Coach, with all the drama surrounding the situation for you right now, how do you address your locker room in the entirety of it at this stage to ensure that this doesn't impact the culture that we know you have really established in Green Bay? And then just specifically, what intangibles from Jordan are you looking for to show the progress?
Yeah, Stacey, that is something that we did talk about briefly with our team. I think you always got to address any of the noise that's out there, but certainly the message is just control what you can control. Try to be the best player you can each and every day. Attack it with the right mindset, a great attitude, great energy, and just try to get better as a player. As far as Jordan's intangibles, I would say just mastery of this system and continuing to feel his command, not only in the huddle, but up at the line of scrimmage, and then just watch him and progress through his mechanics, fundamentals, and the different plays we're asking him to go out there and execute.
So there you go. That's to handle the fundamentals, to try to execute what they want you to execute. But his message to the team as to not allow this to dig deeper, just control what you can control. And I mean, that's all he can do. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the last time we saw Matt LaFleur, he looked like a guy that, was left at the altar. He looked a little more than upset, to say the very least. So, this is going to continue to spin. And tomorrow we'll talk more about the Milwaukee Bucks. Tomorrow we'll talk more about the Brewers. The Brewers on a 3-game win streak, going for number 4. They snapped the 9-game win streak of the San Diego Padres. But today we all know was about, what Aaron Rodgers said or maybe didn't say last night in an interview with Kenny Mayne. So, but an interesting day nonetheless. And it's a day in which that's why I said, look, I get it. I get what he's saying. You may not like it. You may not agree with it, but I get what he's saying and why he's at this particular place in his mind. And I'll be honest, I'm not far from that. Because I was there when they drafted Jordan Love. So I get it. I get why he's at this particular place in his career and his thought process. Hey, if you're looking for a terrific place to go and maybe get away from the stress of all of this, a terrific place up north called the Four Seasons Island Resort. They are open. It is open 7 days a week. The season's wide open. UTV, ATV trails, motorcycle rides, huge indoor saltwater swimming pool. They've got a great spa. They've got a sauna. They've got a 9-hole executive golf course, good food in the diamond room, great fun in the lounge. Then there's the Boundary Water Sports Bar and Grill downstairs, an ice cream parlor for the kids. They've got an arcade for the kids, just hiking, biking, fishing, pontoon rentals, kayak rentals, you name it. They've got something for everybody, and you got to get the Bill Michaels special. I can't tell you what it is because sometimes it changes. But everybody that says, hey, I want the Bill Michaels special, you get something, whether it's a discount or something else along the way. So you got to get a hold of our girl Barb, B-A-R-B, at the4FOURSeasonsWI.com. Email, say, these are the dates I'm thinking about coming. Barb at the4seasonswi.com. Barb at the4FOURSeasonsWI.com. And she can give you the hookup. It is a 1-tank trip. It's in northern Wisconsin, and it's close to the UP. So if you want to head over to their sister resort, which is Pine Mountain Resort with the beautiful Timberstone Championship Golf Course, you can do that as well. But get a hold of our girl Barb and get yourself a room, a weekend, an overnight stay, a business trip, a group gathering, whatever it is you need. They've got something for everybody. Go to Barb, B-A-R-B, at the4FOURSeasons.com. Barb at the4seasons.com. Tomorrow, Bucks whooped ass against Miami. And is this series over? We'll talk about that. Hopefully the Brewers get another win today. Be great. Brewers get a 4-game win streak coming into tomorrow's show. They snapped that 9-game win streak of the Padres with some effort last night. Got some offense last night and run support for Woody, which was fantastic. So I'm off. I'm out and about again today, heading out to see our friends at Road Track and Trail to do some stuff with them. Got some other work I got to take care of. So I got to take a little time off, right? We're going to go do a few things, and then we're all going to reconvene here again tomorrow. And time for us to get our. Until then, have a good one.